What are you looking for? The screw? Wow. So you know what you're doing? Do you need a Phillips head or a flathead, or do you know? Should we call our engineer, our great Greg Shelton, to come in here and help you out?
We'll figure it out. I thought by now Pledge would have come from that side of the glass over to help, but
you think he would? He's just standing there watching, and being entertained.
He's laughing,
like I am.
He's laughing,
yeah, because,
as well you should.
Because you're not the most mechanically inclined.
I'll get this figured out.
Well, I'm sure you will.
No worries.
It's only a 4-hour show, though.
Well, I mean,
I expect Jason to know how to work a screw.
Well, he screwed many of people, that's for sure. But other than that, no, Jason's a good guy. Now, you need to get that fixed, because the ongoing saga of the bird in Jason's patio there, or front, whatever you call it. Yeah, you were fighting with the bird, you tell us, and so I'm anxious to hear the finale of that. How it, and apparently the bird's still there, so Jason must have lost. That's
well,
kind of the way I see
I
it.
mean, the game is not over yet, but I think Minix is up on the scoreboard right now. Although I'm not home, so he might be adding to it. What the hell did RJ do in this place this morning?
Oh, I'm not sure. But that's the second time that thing has fallen.
Well, it's the second time recently, but it's fallen many times before.
Not bad. You got it. It's done.
So like you said, I'm a professional screw.
Searching for the best SFX for your
So what happened?
stand out. With sound effects recorded with intent.
Last night I get home and there's the nest has been added to. RJ Ochoa spent the night at my house last night. He was in town, just a quick layover. Got home, we go to dinner, come back, and my wife gets home and she starts checking on, oh man, this bird's been busy, right? So you get a broom and I start to knock some stuff down, and then I get a ladder, because even with a broom, neither RJ or myself are really tall enough, but we're knocking some of the crap out. So there was no bird up there. But when you're out there, the bird tends to leave. Oh,
right?
Okay, gotcha.
So then I look at I went and got an old driver, climbed up on the ladder, and technically RJ was like, well, you're barefoot, I'm in shoes, so I'll climb the ladder and we're trying to knock it. He's trying to knock it down with the golf club.
Right.
But it's this cement mud kind of stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the hell these birds do to pack the foundation for their nest, but it's pretty good.
It's pretty incredible, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
And so this morning, while I'm waiting for Amazon to deliver the owls to carry, I get the water hose out.
Have they delivered them yet?
No, not yet. So the owls are still on the way. But this morning, I get out there and I've got the water hose, and I've got one of those. It's got like the high jet. And,
sure. Right.
And I'm spraying this thing down. I'm just and all kinds of stuff's falling out. I'm like, what the and the bird starts
coming down at you.
Yeah, well, he doesn't really. He kind of dive bombs me, but not really. But because I've got I'm a tall 5'7". The archway is probably 12 feet, so he flew in over me. Didn't really come down, but he flew. He was checking things out, so now I'm trying to get him with the water hose.
Oh wow!
And then he leaves, and he's now sitting on the roof watching me do this. and then every time I would take the water hose and not be spraying up towards the light just to see what else is falling down, how much more do I have to go? Every time I would do that, he would go do a flyby to check out what's going on. So, and then I had to go to work.
Dude, so that bird is going to poop on you every time you leave your house. And that bird's going to build a nest somewhere, and he's just going to sit there and wait. And when that dude leaves his house, there will be a little poo happening.
Yeah. Well, and I will say this because I see people like Fred, they're building the nest. There's no eggs in there.
No babies yet.
There's no, and quite frankly, part of me is curious to see how the hell is a bird actually going to build a nest here, right? Because I thought that more of this was inside the fixture and it's not. It's kind of on the side.
Oh, really?
So like they're adding on to the light fixture, kind of thing.
That's fascinating. I mean, that's fascinating how they do that, and they stick it with the mud and just build from there.
Yeah, but they're back to square one.
Yeah, there's a lot of contractors that could learn from those birds.
I mean,
there really is.
He's reporting back to somebody. There's been a construction delay, and there's some bird that's not happy to hear that there is a construction delay on said nest.
Now, I'm and I don't know this, and if somebody knows it, because I'm not a bird expert, does the female bird build the nest, or does the male bird build the nest? I mean, I'm curious about that.
I don't know.
All right, tell me this: was this bird pretty?
It's a pretty bird.
So maybe it is the male.
It might be the male.
Yeah, because I mean, in most species, the male is prettier than the female.
And I don't know what kind of bird it is. And quite frankly, a couple times I tried to get my phone out to take a picture of the bird, and he's fast. He's not overly big. He's pretty, but he gets up on the roof, and then like if I look at it, he flies. Right, so like we're having this.
We scared the hell out of him.
Well, good. I hope he leaves.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't leave. He's done a hell of a lot of work already.
Yeah, well, I've destroyed all the work that he's done. I mean,
so you completely destroyed the nest.
I wouldn't say completely, but I would say that 85-90% of everything that bird has done. But I have no idea what's up there that's just caked onto that light that. Even with the water hose going, I mean, at high pressure, like I'm going to have to get out my water pressure thing, like for the sidewalks. Maybe that will clean it off. I don't know.
Do you have a hoe or a shovel? I mean, you could just kind of scrape it off.
No, it's one.
You never answered me. Do you have a hoe?
Yes, I have a hoe and I have a shovel. And but those would not be appropriate for this job.
All right, yeah.
I mean, I just thought you just spray it off. Eventually, it's gonna wash off, and man, it's not. Whatever it is, man, it cakes on there.
Well, I mean,
we're gonna have to get the pressure washer.
Birds for years have been building nests in trees and stuff that have to withstand wind and rain and all of that kind of stuff. So it's got to be strong.
Yeah.
I mean, that bird has no idea that it's not going to rain and, stuff coming in. It's got to build the nest the way it knows how.
Sure. Just not at my house.
What I love is the fact that you're going to get rid of this nest and be stuck with 2 plastic owls.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as if the owls do the job.
They don't have, you're doing it.
Well, I mean, the bird's still going to come. The bird has decided this is the spot. So no matter what I do, I have a feeling until it gets scared away by a plastic owl, that it's going to continue to try to build there, right? At what point does the bird decide, let me find a different place?
When you get home tonight and you unpack those owls, you better post that all over social media. Those 2 owls sitting guarding your house.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just checked the cameras a minute ago. I don't see a bunch of more stuff on the patio. So maybe he hasn't done anything else today.
Maybe not.
But I have noticed most of the crap happens at night.
Well, when you're not around with a water hose.
Well, yeah. I left the water hose out just so he knows.
Oh, man. This is the next Netflix movie.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
The Birds.
Me versus a bird. I think I'm up on the scoreboard right now, but I could be wrong.
Well, I hope so. I mean, it is a bird.
I
really do. I mean, I know you're bragging and all, but I kind of hope so.
I'm not bragging. I'm honestly, I'm not trying. I just don't want a bird building a nest on my front porch.
I get it.
Because it attracts snakes.
Yeah, I got you.
Yes. Fred wants me to post my owls and hose on social media.
Yes, we need to see your hoe.
You're so bad. You're so bad.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad. See, we need updates on what's happening.
Sure.
So what's great though, what I see the scenario going here is that you're going to be your house is going to be empty for a couple of days, and that nest is going to be like a palatial mansion when you get back.
Well, that's why the owls are going to protect the house.
I see. Okay,
I mean,
gotcha.
it's interesting because all kinds of stuff gets picked up by the cameras, right? Possum goes across, a raccoon goes across, a cat, a dog. The bird doesn't get picked up on the cameras.
Well, the bird's smart, out of camera view.
Well, yeah, it's like I got a stealth bird that I'm dealing with, but I can see on the cameras if it's getting work done. And so I have to, if I need to during the, while I'm in Vegas this weekend, hey, Hal, my neighbor, can you go over and wash the nest away? He'd probably do it, or call James.
Well,
hey, James,
leave a couple of ribs
there's beer in the fridge. Go not kill a bird. Can you go kill a bird?
Well, if you happen to, it's fine.
Hey, Joe, can you run over the house and catch that bird?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I see your name on my phone. I'm not answering because I know exactly what it's going to be.
Because you wouldn't know what to do either.
Hell no.
You wouldn't know what to do either.
I'm just glad it's your problem and not mine.
A problem that the city is going to face, or what kind of problem do you think it will be for the city of San Antonio and the Spurs when they start asking for tax dollars for a new arena? Because Wemby is here, I think this is the right time, one, to ask. Two, it's time to replace the Frostbank Center. Start that groundwork. Since the announcement yesterday, and that news broke during the Blitz, there's been a lot more opposition, if you will, to not only the location, but the idea of another taxpayer-funded arena. And I know there always is going to be that opposition, although admittedly, I'm a little surprised that we're hearing so much of that in San Antonio. We'll talk about it coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's a Friday. Everybody has their weekend plans. I'm sure none of you plan on getting arrested, but I'm sure some of you will, because it happens to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast. Best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential, and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 and a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Let our team keep your home running comfortable and worry-free. Call on Mr. Electric for all your electrical needs. 210-248-2026. Or get a hold of us online at MrElectric.com and enter your zip code.
License number TECL 34221.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
The Jim Rome Show.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio.
Weekdays at noon on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Dude, I don't know if it's a good omen or not. Well, you're heading off to Vegas. You got bird issues and mic issues before you head off. It sounds like bad karma to me.
I'm going to be fine.
Yeah?
The bird is one thing. I mean, this microphone, it's been around 16 years.
It's a long time. It's a long time.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. But there was somebody in the studio this morning that I won't name, RJ Ochoa, who probably hangs on the microphone a little bit more, moves it around because, it's new and it's different. And, it happens. And quite frankly, the little contraption arm that the microphone is on and the screw that's in there, one, size matters. It doesn't have the length of that screw probably isn't what it needs to be. And it's been stripped out. It's been stripped out. I mean, the screw in this microphone would not want to wear today's baseball pants, if you know what I mean.
See, that's why these guys are upset, because some of them might not be as entertaining as others. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We will. Where do you guys stand on this new arena site for the Spurs? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. I am from I try to be real world. I know they're going to ask for government money, a tax break, a tourism tax, which doesn't bother me near as much as if they were doing some sort of property tax or sales tax or something like that. Most of these are done with a tourism tax. Mm-hmm. You travel a lot, you check into a hotel, you rent a car, and the taxes, the list of taxes sometimes can be 2 pages long. It is what it is. When you travel, who cares, right?
Yeah, nobody cares.
And that's what's going to happen more than likely with this. Now, until there is more progress, nobody from a local politician or the Spurs are going to say anything until they've got a plan that they're going to unveil. This is what they're going to do. So let's look at what we've done in the past. Alamo Dome, That thing was paid off in a hurry.
Yep.
Makes money. Frost Bank Center, same kind of thing. Makes money. They'll do that here. And I honestly, all the talk of, hey, we might lose our team to Austin. All right. There was that threat. A lot of people thought that was a real possibility. We know that's not going to happen, and one way to make sure that doesn't happen is vote yes on this tax, and the Spurs are going to be here for the next 30 years, 50 years, whatever lease they sign. And that might have been a political game that the Spurs were playing. We suck right now. Now's not the time because we suck to ask for a new arena. But if they think that's going to keep us here, it's what Miami did to get their new stadium there for the Marlins. We'll move to San Antonio.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll build you a stadium. Cool. All right.
Well, that's what they all do.
Yeah, exactly. So the opposition, I get, but I don't understand, except for people that are going to bitch about anything. They're called cave people, citizens against virtually everything. That's what they are. Most of them live in Canyon Lake. But when you look at it, sorry, Pledge.
Canyon Lake.
That was just a shot at Pledge.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Now, if you want to argue the site because you're not a fan of the site, all right, what's a better option?
Yeah, give us an option.
What is a better downtown option?
That is a perfect option. That land has been talked about for forever as a site of something, a new stadium of some sort in form or fashion. It is an absolute perfect piece of land for that. So it's hard to say that there's anything else that is any better than that. Now, is there? I'm sure there's other areas where a stadium could be built, but that to me is the absolute perfect. You want it downtown. It's where it should have been from the beginning. If you recall, the SBC Center at that time was supposed to be built where Hero Stadium sits today, but the Spurs couldn't get the tax break that they wanted from the Northeast Independent School District. That happened, so the county steps in, so they built it where they built it. It needs to be downtown. That's where it needs to be. And they're going to ask for public money of some form or fashion. The only concern I have is that, and I remember, and we need to get somebody on to talk about this, because if I recall during the Alamo Dome fight, there is only a certain percentage of tourism tax that you can do for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
You can't just go tourism tax, this, that, and we want this and buy this every year or every 6 months, whatever the case is. So that's a problem, and we need to figure that out once it comes to fruition. So they got to be thinking about all of the above.
When you look at it, and again, there are people that are in these meetings with a lot more information and knowledge than me and you, and you out there in your car, and you sitting at your cubicle, and you at the bar listening on your AirPods, whatever the case is. There are people that have more knowledge than we do. So our opinions right now are based on the information that we have.
Yes.
And so if they go tourism tax, because we don't know that, but yeah, it's not and none of these things typically are, and I'll say it that way, typically, they're not forever. Over this period of time, they expect to raise X number of dollars. That's going to cover the cost of the building. I would also like to think the Spurs are going to say, and we're going to pay X amount. Right? Well, they do that. Hey, we need $3 billion, and we're going to kick in $28 million.
Yeah.
All right, cool. You bought a seat.
Uh-huh.
But that's the way it is. And when you look at the exposure, one of the arguments that you often hear, why am I paying for billionaires to have an arena? Those arenas benefit the city, benefit the community in ways that they measure monetarily, but in reality, you're providing certain jobs, entertainment. Why do concerts not come here? You have more options, more availability, more things to do. There is a huge benefit to the city. Every time, you remember the days when the Spurs were on national TV all the time? All right, there's a shot of the barn, and then let's go down to the Riverwalk. And, that helps with tourism everywhere you go.
You can't buy that kind of publicity. You're exactly right when it comes to that. And that's the biggest thing. right there. You cannot buy that kind of publicity. So what happens then? You get more tourists to pay that tax. I would love in some fantasy world where sports franchises paid for their own buildings. That would be fantastic. But that is not the reality of the situation. The reality is the people have to pay in some form or fashion, whether that's tourism or some sort of a tax on this or that. And it just is the way it works. Nobody else builds their own stuff, and the community benefits from that. It does. If we didn't have the San Antonio Spurs, and I tell you what, and I'm just throwing this out there, there's nobody's told me anything or anything else, but I guarantee if we don't want them, Las Vegas does.
Yeah.
Austin would take them. There's a million. And so is that what we want? And that's really the choice. Do you want the Spurs or don't you?
And again, when there was the thought that they might be laying the groundwork to go to Austin, everybody lost their mind.
Absolutely.
So, all right, now is where you do it. To give you an idea, Henry Cisneros, about a week ago, did a sit-down interview with Vinny Vancetta from Ken's TV and was talking about the Raiders and some of the stuff that was going on with the Raiders when young bad haircut Davis, what's his name, Mark, was talking to
Mo,
the city, and they were working on plans until Las Vegas gave them everything they wanted, including $1 billion stadium. All right, going to Vegas.
Yeah,
I don't know if he was eyeing Vegas anyway, more than San Antonio, but they were getting pretty far down the road. Now, I'd not heard that one of the stories that Cisneros told Vinny Vancetta, but I know that some of the stuff that Red McCombs told us on the radio then, the mayor at the time, there was a lot more progress made that time to where it felt more real than other teams and that had inquired about San Antonio until Vegas came in and said, all right, we'll pay for the whole damn thing.
Well, that's part of it. The other part of it is the Spurs wanted a piece of the ownership, the piece of the pie. And the Davis family was not willing to do that. That is a fact. That happened. And I'm telling you again, and that's why everybody wants to blame Jerry Jones for us not getting an NFL team. Jerry's not the problem. Our sports franchise here is a bigger hurdle than anything else because they want to be involved. And I don't blame them for that. It's not a shot at the San Antonio Spurs. It's just a fact. That's it. They're the biggest impediment to anything else coming here. So it's going to be interesting to see. Look, a stadium, and I guess some people have a problem with it being built downtown. Devin Murphy on our YouTube channel says, use the tourist tax again and build the stadium away from downtown. And my only question would be, why? Where do you want it then if you don't want it downtown?
That's a great question, but it's going downtown. It really, downtown arenas, if you travel around, it just adds to your downtown in positive ways. I realize in San Antonio, we don't have a lot of downtown living. I know there are people that live downtown. There are condos at the top of the Grand Hyatt, and there are some nice condos. And, you got Southtown, you got some areas that are close, and, that complex that's over by the Alamo Dome. I know there seems to be more downtown living than, say, 10 or 15 years ago, but most of us live out.
Yeah, most of us do.
And so going downtown is an occasion. We don't just think about we're going to go downtown and we're going to do this or we're going to do that. It's an occasion. Got family in town, they want to see the Riverwalk. You're going to something at the Majestic, so maybe you go have dinner at the Palm or the Bohannon's and you go to the Majestic or something at the Aztec. And for most, that's how we utilize downtown. And that would change if there was a downtown arena. Most of us would frequent those downtown bars and restaurants on a more regular basis if you had an arena downtown for Spurs games. So right now it feels foreign. I don't want to deal with downtown. Put that there and it becomes the norm.
Well, for 18,000 people every game, it does. And that's what you're going to have. Just gives people something else to do before and after the game. And it's just, That's where it needs to be. That's the trend right now.
Well,
for new stadiums, and that's where it needs to be.
And let's face it, no matter where they pick, somebody's going to bitch. If you if you live in Schertz or Garden Ridge, Converse, and they build it up I-10 near their practice facility. Oh man, that's all the way over there. All right, if you build it up I-35 a little bit in, say, Garden Ridge, the guy that lives in Fair Oaks, oh man, it's the same thing. If you build it down by the Toyota plant, same thing. I'm in Stone Oak. I'm not going all the way down there.
Well, that's why downtown makes sense. It's the same for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. And no matter where you live, unless you live close to downtown, but if you're in the outer areas, it's the same for everybody. So, it's going to be an interesting fight over the next several months. That's for sure. Fight is the wrong word. Debate.
I think fight's the right word.
Well, it could be.
There are people that like to fight.
Yeah. Well, sure. And then there are people, as you mentioned, that just don't want to do anything but sit in their rocking chair, drink and smoke, and complain.
And the guy that complains the most probably doesn't give a damn about the Spurs, doesn't go to a game, barely watches on TV, and doesn't know Wemby from Jeremy if he were to see him. But he's going to be the loudest in the argument of why we don't need a sports arena with any kind of tax dollar. That's the way it goes. Speaking of the Spurs, man, they were close last night.
Wow.
They weren't even within shouting distance.
Let's celebrate.
They were in whisper distance last night. We'll talk about the Spurs. And more importantly, what Pop said about Wemby pregame, that is very, very interesting. That coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We all love bacon, right? Everybody loves bacon. Over at Tri-County Meat Market, they are now making their own bacon in-house. All natural, no nitrates, thick-cut, hickory-smoked bacon. I cannot wait to try it at Tri-County Meat Market because you want to up your grilling game. You want the best in any kind of meats. You need to get into Tri-County Meat Market. Locally owned and full service. They have everything you need to up your grilling game, including a bacon. They got your beef. They got your chicken. They got your pork. Their fajitas are incredible. Their poppers. And now they're doing their own damn bacon. I cannot wait to try their thick-cut bacon. It's going to be fantastic because Tri-County has what you need with the quality you expect. You can always take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25, and they always offer a 10% discount for military and first responders. 2 great locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner, or online at tricountymeat.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs rodeo road trip continues. The Lakers and the Jazz are in the rearview mirror. Here come the Timberwolves on Tuesday night. We'll look at what happened and where they're going. Wemby Watch 24 continues.
Plus, it's NFL Combine Week. The Dallas Cowboys and Houston Texans each have the same goal, but potentially different paths on how they want to get there, and it all starts now. Make sure to show up bright and early. We start at 6.
I was afraid to cut the cord, but once I did, I couldn't believe it took so long to do it. Paying too much for my cable bill had become a bad habit. I either wasn't getting what I wanted or never knew where to find any of my favorite shows until it was too late. Plus, the prices just kept going up. Thankfully, I discovered a new way to watch called Philo. For just $25 a month, I can catch all my favorite shows on networks like BET, MTV, and TLC. It even has Nickelodeon for my kids. I can watch anytime I want, anywhere I want. Plus, Philo lets me have up to 3 streams at once, so everyone can watch what they want at the same time. Throw in the unlimited DVR that saves all my favorites for up to a year, and this really is the best deal in TV. I just wish I hadn't waited so long. Sound too good to be true? Well, try it out for yourself, and you'll see why people who love TV love Philo. Go to philo.tv, that's philo.tv, and start your 7-day free trial now.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs, like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-952-1155. That's 800-952-1155.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Yeah, I couldn't be more proud of them. We made mistakes, they made mistakes, but, they're an experienced team now. The young kids have grown up. Sabonis and Fox are all-star caliber players. They added some free agents. They're a good basketball team now and can play anybody. And for us to do what we did, I couldn't be more proud of them.
Are we in the moral victory stage of the year?
Yes. Well, have we not been in that stage since day one?
I mean, well, not day one. They played well last night. They played well enough to win.
At times.
No,
At times.
I thought last night was a damn good basketball game by our San Antonio Spurs. And all the things that we talked about, we were seeing on display. Unselfish play from Devin Vassell. While he still led the team in scoring, his passing late. There was a play last night late in that game, 2 or 3 minutes to go, and Devin Vassell was open for a shot, but he made a great pass to Victor, and even Sean Elliott said that's a play that wouldn't have been made earlier in the season. It was smart basketball. I thought Devin played great last night. Passed the ball when he needed to, took shots when they were his shots to take. The Kings go on a late run to put that thing away after it was tied like at 121. After that, things fell apart. Vic had some looks. He didn't knock him down, but they made the right plays to get him the ball. And he's who I want taking those shots.
Well, I mean, nobody did. Again, there's so many things when you watch this, and if we're going to get all happy about a 127-122 defeat, okay, I'll go there with y'all.
Happy?
That's fine.
Moral victory.
Yeah, we'll go there.
Shouting distance.
That's great.
Whisper distance.
When you look at it though, and defense was lacking there at the end, shot making was not there at the end, and I see it drives me insane to sit here. Well, but they're learning. They're learning, and they learned last night. And Devin Vassell finally learned something, and that's a shot he wouldn't have taken earlier. It drives me nuts. The result's the same. They lost. It's an L. Doesn't matter if it's 5 points or 25 points.
Well,
it's a loss.
Yes, Joe, it's a loss on a bad basketball team. A bad basketball team. And when Dan Weiss said last night, and I knew this, but it was one of those that he said it and you go, damn, that's bad. They have not been in a close game since they beat the Timberwolves and then lost to the Wizards by a couple. Every other game, they've been blown out. So to even have a close game Well, they beat the Raptors on this road trip.
But
did. When they've lost, they're just getting destroyed. So to play a close game where you feel like in the final 5 minutes they've got a chance to win,
and they did,
and they did. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a moral victory guy, but last night they played well. That was a great basketball game. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. And I was expecting them to get blown out last night. So for them to compete the way they did, with all the things that we hear Pop saying that he's looking for, and you look at the goals that they had in their practice that we all saw, right? All of that was on display last night. You got everything from last night that you wanted except the W. And I do wonder, though, although they didn't play like they were trying to lose like last year, but wins now actually hurt this team because now over the final 26, it's lottery balls, isn't it?
Well, I think the Spurs can't, even if they lost every game from here on out, the Wizards and the Pistons are so bad that I don't think you can have the most balls. The Spurs are going to be somewhere as third to worst. So that's their issue there, because the Wizards and the Pistons are just awful.
I mean, you realize you're talking about an 11-win Spurs team, right?
Well, yeah, but you're talking about an 8-win Pistons team and a 9-win Wizards team.
But bottom three get the same number of balls.
Oh, okay.
So all you got to do is finish in the bottom three.
Just stay right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sucks.
Yeah, well, it does that we're going for balls again.
Well, that wasn't the plan.
Aren't you tired of going for balls?
I mean, Charlotte's got 14 wins. We don't want to catch them. See, Portland's got 15 wins. We don't want to catch them. They got a 4-game lead on us for most balls.
Well,
you got Washington with 9 wins, Detroit with 8. I'm just saying.
Well, they're not going to catch the Spurs. I can't imagine.
Three games, man. You get hot and you trip into a 3-game win streak, and it could screw the whole lottery up.
Well, since that hasn't happened all year,
just saying.
I'm not anticipating it happen. Look, I'm just sick of this, and I look at it and say, okay, Devin Vassell. Pop seems to think he's going to be a great basketball player. I like Devin Vassell. I agree with that. But other than that, maybe Keldon Johnson or Jeremy Sohan, maybe one, maybe both, who knows? This team is not going to be this team next year. Though it's hard for me to get excited and buy into, well, they're playing unselfish ball now. It's going to be so much different next year that it's hard for me to get invested in what I'm looking at on the court other than Victor Wembanyama and Devin Vassell.
I look at Wemby last night, took the most shots on this Spurs team. He was 8 of 21, just 1 of 6 from 3, finished with 19 points. Devin was 13 of 18, finished with 32 points. I don't mind Devin being the high point guy, as long as when I look down, I see Wemby is the high shot guy. Those shots, are going to end up falling for Wemby. Although, maybe working on that 3 is something that he could do. But I mean, what you saw last night is what we've been saying for weeks or months that this team needs to be. Wemby is the number one option. He finishes with the most shots. They didn't drop for him last night. We know over time that's going to change, because watching the game last night almost felt like Pop knew what was coming, because you look at the box score and it just felt like he was missing shot after shot after shot, but they were good shots. I don't mind the shot selection. At some point they're going to drop. He finishes with 19 and 13, had 4 assists, had 5 steals. He had 5 blocks, but watching the game, it didn't feel like it was that kind of a night for Wemby, which is kind of what Pop said before the game. When you're watching Wemby, it reminds him of David Robinson. And quite honestly, some of those Tim Duncan nights where you look up and, Duncan's got 26 and 14.
It's kind of like the David Robinson thing. We'd finish a game and you start taking David for granted so much. You'd say, damn, David, did he rebound tonight? Or what did he score tonight? I'm thinking he got 12, 15 points. And you look at the stats and 24 points and 11 rebounds and 3 blocks. And you didn't realize it while the game was going on because you expect it from him. So it's kind of like that with Victor.
He's right. And you as a fan, you took David and Tim for granted. We're going to do the same thing with Victor Wembanyama, but we said that. Remember when he had the 10 blocks? What was that, a couple of weeks ago? And I think that will eventually probably be the norm unless teams adjust and don't challenge him as much. And that is certainly a possibility. But I think those kinds of stats are going to be the norm for Victor Wembanyama. And for Devin Vassell as well. Now, he took 18 shots last night and made 13 of them. He was on last night. And look, there's a lot of other things besides scoring. I mean, these guys are still not playing defense. That's clear. They turned the ball over. They especially in that fourth quarter, when they had a 2-point lead with a couple of minutes to play.
Yeah.
And, just making rookie mistakes. But again, I just don't – it's hard for me to get invested. And I'm curious. Am I the only one that feels that way? Or are we just going year by year here and just trying to enjoy it this year when the team's most likely going to look a hell of a lot different next year?
The question really is, what does a hell of a lot different look like? Because I think a lot of these guys are playing, I don't want to say for their NBA careers because somebody will pick them up, but their roles need definite defining. Devin Vassell, if you get more of what you saw last night, he's got a future here. Keldon, you could almost say the same thing. But it's Wemby, and it's what are they going to do in the offseason? And I go back to something that Jeff McDonald was telling us yesterday here on the Blitz when he joined us from Sacramento. The idea of going and getting a point guard is there. But is it going to be the all-star point guard that every Spurs fan is looking for? And right now, because his name has been linked to the Spurs for a couple of weeks now, from before the deadline to it's going to happen in the summer, is Trae Young. Well, now the problem is, as a Spurs fan, and I'm going to be guilty of this too, if it's not Trae Young and it's a good guard but not an all-star caliber guard, we're going to be disappointed that that's what they did. We went through all that for that guy. And you see what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see what's molded into, but this is, to your degree, this year has been such a disappointment, expectations not met. You get a player like Wemby. Pop said in training camp, this year is about winning, and they're sitting at 11 wins with 26 to go, and you don't want to get invested in this team. Why fall in love with one of these players that likely isn't going to be here or in the same role? It's like if you're fostering a puppy. Don't get attached because that puppy's not going to be here very long, right? It almost feels that way with this Spurs team.
I just look, Vassell, maybe Johnson, Sohan, and perhaps Trey Jones. Other than that, I don't know. And if you want to get invested in some of these guys, I know a lot of people are, especially Vassell and Johnson. But McDonald said it yesterday too, and we've talked about it. I don't care if it's a superstar like Trae Young. I don't care. But they need some veteran players in here that can teach these young players on the floor in the heat of battle. It's one thing for Tim Duncan to work with Wemby in the practice facility. That is fantastic. But to immediately say, oh, man, he did that, you should have done this. Or watch out when he goes around to his left, or whatever the case may be, that's invaluable. And right now they don't have that. They don't have anybody that's going to do that for Wemby or anybody else.
Well, and
that's what they need.
Yeah, well, and again, I mean, even Wemby said last night after the game, that lack of experience showed up in a game that was very winnable for them.
The experience showed, and our lack of experience showed as well. So it's still blurry. I need to watch the game again.
And honestly, I mean, he looked distraught's not the right word, but frustrated. Like, it's one thing when you're getting beat by 20, final horn goes off, and all right, man, I knew we were losing this game 38 minutes ago. Last night, they felt like they had a chance to win. Last night, I was glad to see the frustrated look on a lot of the faces following the game, because that is a team that felt like they played well enough to win, but they know their mistakes late cost them that. To me, you learn from that. That was the biggest takeaway from last night's game for me.
Well, you learn from it, but Jason, they've been making those same mistakes all year. When are they going to learn from it? That's what I'm talking about. We were almost done with the season. It's not like they made those mistakes for the first time last night. They've been doing that all year. So, yeah, you need, if there were a couple of veteran players on that team last night, Spurs win that game, because those veteran players don't make those mistakes, and they will everybody else. And that's what I'm talking about. And that's why I think it is such an unjust season for Victor Wembanyama to go through with this young group of players that most likely he's not going to be playing with, a lot of them, moving forward. I think they have wasted this kid's rookie year. And I hope and pray that in the offseason they adjust and they bring some veterans in here and get this thing together, so you can at least watch TV or go to the arena every night and say, you know what? We got a shot. We don't have to make the playoffs. That's cool. But you know that they'll improve and that they're doing something to build a team. This year, I don't, what'd they do? Well, nothing.
Nothing. And again, I don't disagree with anything you just said, except for they don't have those players right now. But making the mistakes late in the game, in a close game like they were in last night, and they've had so very few close games, or you're in a dogfight, it's late fourth quarter, and you've got to make the play in order to win the game. That's why I say they can learn from last night. You know, it's one thing to make the mistakes and you're down 23 or you're down 18 or you're down 17 and you're going to lose that game. The feeling last night following that loss, I hope for those players in that locker room, felt a lot different than when they were getting beat by 21, where you know for the entire fourth quarter the game is over. Because that will stick with you a little bit more. You can watch that film and say, that mistake right there cost us the game. That mistake right there cost us the game. We're in a tight game. I think you learn more from than when you're going through the motions, just waiting for that clock to get to the final zeros.
I can live with that, and I agree with that. Good news is, it just sent the injury report. Everybody's playing tonight against the Los Angeles Lakers. Haven't seen the Lakers injury report, but it is expected that LeBron is going to play tonight.
Good.
But it is a back-to-back, so you watch, but at least Wemby is going to start the game.
He only played 31 minutes last night.
I'm just saying.
You think Louis wants him sitting on the bench in L.A.?
Of course not.
You think Louis wants their new spokesperson sitting on the bench in Los
Pop
Angeles?
gives a damn what Louis wants?
No.
He does not.
No. Hey, our golf tournament's coming up. We are literally about a month away. Coming up on March 25th over at the Golf Club of Texas, presented by Flight by Yingling. We're about half full right now, so get your foursome in. Go to sasportstar.com and get that foursome signed up. If you sign up as a foursome, it's $100 a player, so $400 total. If you don't have a foursome and you want to sign up, you and a buddy or just you by yourself, we'll find friends for you. $120 a player. Get signed up now for our golf tournament coming up on March 25th over at the Golf Club of Texas. Go to sasportstar.com. Get yourself registered.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Hello, this is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our coastal waterfront grand opening on March 2nd, where you can get 2 acres with bay access for only $49.9. That's right, 2 acres bay access for only $49.9. This coastal waterfront community has over 4 miles of water frontage with access to the ICW, golf, much more. Property features paved roads, underground utilities, boat launch, pier, pool, cabana, and more. This property is shown by appointment only. Call now, 210-853-0389, 210-853-0389, 210-853-0389, 210-853-0389.
The Golf Club of Texas has some of the best course conditions with the friendliest staff. The golf is great. They have lighted driving range and practice area. While it feels like a country club, it's not a private club. It's open to the public, so bring the family into the Tin Cup Bar, the nicest sit-down restaurant in that area of San Antonio, specializing in Texas food, wine, and spirits. For golf or dinner, go to the Golf Club of Texas off Highway 90, online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
The venue's set. Families coming in from all over. It's our quinceañera. With all the excitement, it may be easy to overlook COVID-19. It's still a risk, and that's why it's muy importante to get this season's COVID-19 shot ahead of time. It helps protect against COVID-19, which can cause severe illness and hospitalization. So let's set the date, vaccinate, and celebrate. Learn about a vaccine option and book this season's updated COVID-19 shot today at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
That doesn't sound good.
Paper shredder's jammed, but I think I fixed it.
Oh, well, try shredding these $50 bills then.
Seems like it's working.
Better try another $400.
Stop. Instead of using money, use regular paper. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Your home for the Cowboys.
Touchdown all the way. Runs it in for the touchdown.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, it was a big announcement from the NFL today. They have raised the 2024 salary cap. It's going to be $255.4 million. That's an unprecedented $30 million increase per team. That is incredible. San Antonio Spurs lost to Sacramento. They get another shot, though. LeBron James expected to play tonight for the Lakers. Spurs-Lakers tonight.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. It is a Friday.
Yay, the weekend is here.
Is it our first football this Friday?
Second. No, we didn't have a football Friday last week.
All right.
I know it seems like the season's been over forever.
It's been 2 weeks, huh?
That's a long time.
2 weeks. 3 weeks?
No, it's been 2 weeks, right? Yeah, because the Super Bowl was the 11th.
So it's really our first football this Friday. I mean, I know last week we didn't have football, but you're still kind of recovering, if you will. I'm trying to save myself here.
Yeah, dude, I was crying on Monday of last week.
Well, you cry every day, so that's
true.
not a
Very
surprise.
true.
I mean,
Yeah.
but while there is no football this weekend, you do have the Spurs playing tonight. 9:30, by the way, is when that thing will get underway,
9:30.
which really is like 9:48.
Right.
By the time they
Yeah,
get to tip off.
yeah.
We'll go
And
with
they do
JJ.
play on Sunday as well. The Spurs do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll be in Vegas. Should I put some money on that?
Well, sure. They play Utah, and I think Sunday it's Utah. Yeah. So they got, 3 more games on this rodeo road trip. I believe that is accurate. The Lakers, Utah, and then they finish up.
Well, didn't the rodeo end this weekend?
It does. But they got to clean the cow poop out and get, the smell will linger for a couple of weeks.
Well, I think that's the bonus for people that go this weekend like you. You got to take a bag up with you.
Well, that was always the joke, and it was always funny, and it got old after a while because that first game back from the rodeo, hey, how do you like the smell?
Yeah.
You'd ask the players that all the time, right? Well, it's fine.
No, it's really not.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay.
I can't believe you're going back to the rodeo tonight.
Well,
little big and rich.
I was invited, so very happy to go back, and I think it's the semifinals.
Yeah?
Yeah, so them cowpokes will be riding hard.
Okay.
Yeehaw. I got to practice. Yeehaw. Well, there's a yeehaw, and then there's a yeehaw. There's a difference.
Is there?
Yeah, one's a donkey, one's a cowpoke.
I couldn't tell the difference of what you just did.
Well,
literally, they sounded exactly the same.
Listen, all right. Yeehaw. That's the donkey.
Okay.
Yeehaw. That's the cowpoke.
Sounds like the donkey got squeezed.
Maybe he did.
So why does the cowpoke have to have a higher voice?
It's just the way it is. It's more like a greeting. Yeehaw! 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 Howdy!
Howdy.
That's how it is. It's a greeting. The donkey's like just being a donkey. Yeehaw!
Yet it's still, I mean, you get a little bit of a higher pitch. Is the cowpoke in your mind, is that the dude greeting you?
Well, sure. Yeah.
And he's on the back of a bull, which would explain the higher voice?
That could be. Dude, I saw some of those bulls the other night. They're monsters.
Well, they are.
My
literally.
Goodness. Yes.
That's why those guys get paid what they do.
Woo.
And why they are nuts.
But what I like about the cowpokes and cowgirls at the rodeo, they have to earn their money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unlike, some professional athletes that just get paid no matter what.
So you would prefer as opposed to the guaranteed salary guys, the go out and
let's say
the
earn
better
your money.
you do, the more money you're going to make.
Sure. Take Dak Prescott, for example.
Oh, here we go.
He gets $60 million a year, say, in some world.
Yeah.
How about he just gets paid by the completion? And then, it's kind of like fantasy football. And if he throws an interception, you knock off 20 grand. And you could do that.
Can we hear the donkey again?
Yeah.
There's Joe Reinagel on a Friday.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's a thought.
Get off my lawn.
Oh, my
Have fun
goodness.
at the rodeo tonight, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, are you tuned up on your big and rich music?
Yeah, I'm really not, honestly.
Can you name a song?
No, I can't. I know I'm going to know some songs.
Yeah.
And then Gretchen Wilson, too. So I'm assuming it's a little longer concert tonight and not as much rodeo. I don't know if that's dude, I'd make more than I do now. Are you kidding me?
Really?
Yes.
Pledge says, should we approach the boss with that kind of contract for Joe?
Another beer bet with the Blitz. Oh, Jason and Joe go head to head.
We'd have to get Lance involved in this beer bet.
Yeah. Take the guaranteed money that's on the table,
yes,
man.
I'm good. I'm good.
Think about it. You're guaranteed money. When you started, we had a 3-hour show. Now we got a 4-hour show for the same guaranteed money.
I know.
I think the boss always wins.
I know. And they do.
Let's do the headline blitz.
Is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. 2 guys, 2 opinions, never enough time.
I am a big hockey fan. And hockey is the one sport that I know when I'm watching, I know I'm just a fan. I know it's not going to translate to the show. 99.9% of the time, I can watch hockey just as a pure fan. Every other sport, you and I, you watch something and you're mentally taking notes or literally taking notes because it could be a topic on the show.
Absolutely.
But we're in San Antonio, and unfortunately, not enough hockey people to talk hockey for the most part, unless something crazy happens. So when Joe Reinigle came in and it's like, dude, we're talking hockey today. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. It took a referee of all things, a referee, to get Joe interested in some sort of hockey news, because hockey is really a sport for the people.
If he hits it with his stick above his head, you're not going to like it, but the call on the ice was correct. No goal. Yeah, that's some good
I love
description
every
there
official
from
should do that.
Karen Ray.
That was an official, and they were having a review, is what I looked like. And so he comes out, and obviously the call's going against the home crowd, and he just tells them, you're not going to like it, but the call stands.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that does happen in hockey, the personality, even with the officials.
Dude, I love that. When I saw that, I LOL'd.
You LOL'd?
I LOL'd.
Wow. HE double hockey sticks. Wow. If that's what it takes to get you to watch hockey, which is the best beer drinking sport there is.
I just say I want to watch it. I enjoyed that, and then you change the channel.
You like violence.
Yeah.
You like players that earn it. You like the physical nature. How often, man, in football they might as well make it flag football. Watch a hockey game. Like, you wonder how those people survive, and then they play the next day.
I have to.
There's no load management in hockey.
I have to take the time to learn the rules.
It's not complicated.
Well, it seems complicated.
Well, it might seem that way, but once you understand, like red line, offside.
Yeah, exactly. And how's the dude?
Icing?
See that all of that stuff.
It's not complicated.
It's complicated.
It really isn't that complicated. It's not. The hardest part is following the puck.
Well, one of these, I can do that.
Well, I'm not sure if you can, because you got to somewhat pay attention, and your attention span is like your bladder. I mean, I don't, you gotta follow and then anticipate where the puck is actually going, as opposed to trying to follow it.
Well, and that's the other thing. I mean, see, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's really not.
It's a lot of work. I want to sit there and drink beer and
just keep drinking.
I don't want to work. Well, let's see. Was he offsides, or was that icing? Or did he cross the blue line or the gold line? I mean,
there's no gold line.
Exactly. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, though, is it's not all that complicated. And once you kind of understand what offsides is or what icing is, then you don't have to overthink it anymore, and you just enjoy the physical nature.
Well, once I understand that, I will. Now, I do enjoy playoff hockey. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty intense.
Dude, it's,
Yeah. Got a friend of mine that's a big Las Vegas Knights fan.
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not. Well, he's actually from Las Vegas originally.
Okay.
So
they got a team, and he's all in.
He's all in.
Yeah, lifelong. Yeah, I've been a fan for like 3 years.
Well, however they've been around.
Yeah.
Where'd they come from?
One of the Canadian. I don't know. Actually,
well, from Canada.
Oh, they might have. I mean, huh? Well, they weren't the Winnipeg.
Were they the Minnesota?
No,
that's the Stars, right?
Well, yeah, but Minnesota's got a team now, the Wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know they came from somewhere.
Well, sure. Most teams do.
Yeah, but they weren't an expansion team. Could have been that, but it wasn't.
Actually, they might have been an expansion team. But I know they were there. They had a great expansion draft.
Well,
I don't know.
It's really neither here nor there. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, we don't. We don't care.
Fred says they were an expansion team on our YouTube channel.
They were
there
an
you go.
expansion team. But there's so much movement in hockey that there for a while there was a lot.
I'm not a hockey aficionado, so
you could become a fan of the Seattle Kraken.
No.
The Dallas Stars.
No.
Phoenix is about to lose their team, so depending on where they end up, which is likely Salt Lake City.
Well, they could share that brand new arena with the Spurs right there at the Institute of Texan Culture.
I mean, I think Houston gets an NHL team before San Antonio.
Well, I don't know why. Didn't they have one and they lost it?
They had an old World League team. Gordie Howe used to play for them.
Ah.
Yeah, the Houston Aeros.
I don't like Houston. Why would they get a team?
Because they got a building and a mayor that wants to attract things.
Okay. Fair enough.
Ron, line 3.
Exactly. I'm like, whoa.
And sports owners that are inviting.
Sure.
With the other franchises that are there.
I would assume, it would be my assumption, that you build a brand new arena, might have some interest from the NHL.
It is possible.
Yeah.
It is certainly possible. Because of what's going on with Phoenix and the Coyotes. But I do think they'll end up in Salt Lake City.
All right.
That would be my guess.
Salt Lake City Coyotes.
Well, they'll probably change the name. Although it could work.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Huh.
Who knows? The NCAA might actually do something that we're all going to agree on. They are talking about moving early signing day to the first week of December. So, and that's big because right now, if they go with the date that they're looking at, that would be like literally the first day of the new playoffs.
Yeah.
And that would be bad for everybody.
It's horrible
you
for everybody.
think about like last year, the UTSA Roadrunners and Jeff Traylor play in a bowl game, and then the next morning is National Signing Day.
Right.
And the kind of pain in the ass that it was for their staff, although they did make it work, but you know, those 11th hour, guy that we're looking at, well, we're in the middle of a game, man. Run and get on the phone. Get
exactly.
You know, now he wants another this or that. Yeah, you know, it's just they've just got to get a good open window in the calendar, which there aren't many for early signing day.
Well, and that's a good thing for the NCAA. But do you think they just throw things out there to say, hey, we're still here. We're out here. We're the NCAA. We have no stones, but we're here.
Yeah, it's possible. Speaking of stones, there's been a lot of talk, obviously, about the new baseball pants. This is a disaster.
Well,
because
I think
when you get almost virtually every player complaining about it. One player said, I need to just go buy pants over at Dick's Sporting Goods because everything is visible through these see-through pants. And when you look at some of the photos that are out there, there's nothing left to the imagination.
No, it's almost like soft porn.
I mean, there's no guy freeballing in his baseball pants this week. They're just not. Because it's like when you tuck in your jersey and can literally read the patch that's on the bottom of the jersey through the pants, you realize how see-through that is.
I don't get it. Who is it? It's Fanatics and Nike. Have done the uniforms and I don't know.
Now, there's been some of the layer photos, and even the poor photographers aren't helping the guys out because, you know, I saw one photo floating around the internet and clearly bats right, throws right, and hangs right was the caption on the Twitter photo because you could just tell in the photo. Like, hey, the photographer, like, you want to adjust a little bit, something.
Wow.
Now, Evan Grant, who covers the Texas Rangers for the Dallas Morning News, tweeted out, I can report from out here on the front lines from the press box. It does not appear you can see players junk through the new fancy pants. That's a reporter leaving no stone unturned.
Yes.
Pun intended.
Well, I don't know. Are those the same uniforms? Yeah, maybe Major League Baseball's has come up with something here. Maybe
the NFL is attracting a young female audience with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Baseball says, well, we'll show bats and balls.
Hold our beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be.
Let's talk some football coming up. The salary cap's going up a lot. We'll talk about that coming up. And also how some teams can create some cap space, including the Dallas Cowboys. Want to know how they can save $9.5 million? we'll tell you coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
First, I want to tell you, though, how you can save your eyesight, actually get better eyesight. All you have to do is call Parkhurst New Vision. Now, they've done it for me. Had lens replacement surgery last summer. I see better now than I've seen in 30 years. So good, in fact, that my wife Maggie had her eyes done, and she is loving life when it comes to her eyes right now. Look, they can do the same thing for you. First step, though, you have to give them a call, 210-585-2020. You can also check them out online at sanantoniolasic.com. But when you call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020, set up a consultation. First thing I'd like for you to do, if you don't mind, tell them that I sent you, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz, and then ask your questions. Talk to them. They will talk to you. They'll make you feel comfortable, answer every question that you have about the procedure that you want done. You're going to feel great when you leave that place. The folks over there are the nicest around. So let them do for you what they've done for my family. Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
We're honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon every Friday at our Bourbon and Brews Party. Head over to Twin Peaks Fridays from 5 to 7 and experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. Cheers!
This is the home of the Aggies. This is Andrew Monaco. You're locked on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We are the home of the Aggies and Andrew Monaco. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Our Spring Golf Classic coming up March 25th over at the Golf Club of Texas, presented by Flight by Yingling. Go get yourself registered, sasportstar.com. You can register as an individual. You could register as a team. Get your foursome in. Do it. sasportstar.com. It's a gorgeous weekend. Start practicing. We're about a month away, and we're about halfway sold out, and we always sell out. So
it's going to be sold
wait.
out.
Yep.
There's no question about it. So get in there. You know you want to play. You know you do. You'll have FOMO if you don't. You know what FOMO is?
Yes.
All right, I'm just checking.
Of course I know what FOMO is.
Of course.
And no, once it's sold out, don't send us a message. Hey man, anything you can do to get me in? I didn't get signed up. I was waiting I was trying to get my friend in, and once we're sold out, we're sold out.
That's it.
Now, if somebody drops out, we'll tell you. We've had that happen before. But we don't keep a waiting list. We don't know. I mean, we get 36 teams. We don't do 39. We don't do 40. We do 36 teams.
Well, Canada, you'd be out there all day.
Well,
honestly,
and John Sobery says, you guys going to go? We're there.
Of course.
But we don't get to play. You know why? Because you guys buy all the teams, which we appreciate, and that allows us to drive around in a cart and jack with everybody and take a shot here, take a shot there. And I mean golf shot, because we've got to work later, boss man. But yeah, we have a great time out there.
We do.
But we don't get to play. We don't have a team.
And we do have a little show to do at 2:00.
Yeah.
So, and that's another reason. But Golf Club of Texas, which, man, if you haven't been out there in a while, get out there. It's incredible.
Well, and one of the things that they're doing there at the Golf Club of Texas, and it's fantastic, but they're redoing their cart path.
Yeah.
And when we say they're redoing their cart paths, they're not patching and fixing. They are completely, and they're doing it one hole at a time. So if you go out there, the whole place isn't tore up with construction. It's one hole, but it's phenomenal with what they're doing. But think about the expense of doing every cart path brand new. And by the time our golf tournament rolls around, I wouldn't be surprised if the entire front nine is completely done and and maybe even a little bit more than that, depending on weather and the construction. But yeah, it's pretty incredible what they're doing, and they're also widening the cart paths as well. So that's going to make a huge difference.
Give you a little more room if you had an extra beer or two.
Exactly. Reinagel driving off of the. Never mind.
No, it's a great place. You need to get out there. We're going to have a lot of fun at the Golf Club of Texas.
The Combine next week in Indianapolis. And while this is not big news, it's interesting. Mike McCarthy and Mike Zimmer are not going to be in Indianapolis. They're not going. They will participate in the prospect interviews they do at the Combine virtually, but they're not going to actually travel to Indianapolis. The only thing that surprises me about that, although if Mike Zimmer is in on the interviews virtually, I guess it's all kind of the same. But knowing Mike has been out of the game for a couple of years, I thought he might want to physically be there, meet guys, see old friends, because it is a big coaches reunion. But a lot of coaches have stopped going to the Combine. It's more for the scouting departments and the GMs. And if they're in on all the interviews that they do, I guess they don't really miss much except for watching a guy get weighed and that sort of stuff.
Well, I'm kind of surprised because most coaches do go. I know that Sean McVay from the Rams hasn't gone in 2 or 3 years, and he, for whatever reason, doesn't go. And it's probably going to become a trend, you would imagine, if other coaches see some of these other coaches that aren't going, they're still doing okay. But Jerry will be there. Steven will be there.
Yep.
Watching and seeing what's going on. I don't know. There's two trains of thought there. McCarthy says he feels like he can do more at the facility. I would want to be there, I think.
It's a big convention. They work all day, then they go to St. Elmo's and go to a steakhouse. There's Mike McCarthy is probably right. He might get more work done being at the Star than he would be in Indianapolis because, all right, we're going to interview Joe Reinagel at 3:15. Cool. He's going to be on the Zoom. Well, from 2:45 to 3:15, I might be watching Joe Reinagel's film from, Tinker Toy Tech and
you'd be pretty impressed.
Be a little bit more, I don't know, familiar with them as opposed to just the cattle call of, all right, who's coming in next? Okay, this guy, that guy. I don't know. I could see both ways of it. If the scouts are there and the GM is there and that sort of stuff, maybe more important than the coaches. I know Mike McCarthy has said in the past he feels like he gets more out of when he actually gets those guys into the facility, when they're able to do those 30 visits later in the year, a little one-on-one, and let's go out to the football field, or let me get you on the grease board and do stuff. But if you can do that over Zoom, why not?
Well, he's going to do it.
We learned that through COVID.
Yeah.
The world survives on Zoom.
Well, I know, but let's don't make a habit of that. let's get out and shake hands and do that stuff.
Now, the cap number
Zoom.
The cap number that came out today seems to have caught the NFL world by surprise because it went up by a record amount, $30 million.
Yeah.
$30.6 million increase from 2023. So the salary cap's at $255.4 million. Massive. Now, maybe the NFL types anticipated that, but most of us did not. So that's good news for the Dallas Cowboys, although they're still over the cap. But all they got to do is get rid of Michael Gallup, make him a post-June 1 cut, and boom, they're under.
Well, $1 million. So they still got a lot of work to do if they're going to go all in, as Jerry says. So we'll see. But, yeah, which is most likely going to happen, which is kind of a sad thing for Michael Gallup. But it most likely he's going to be cut post-June 1. So what happens next? That's the key thing. And teams already, Jason, are making Saints. They restructured Derek Carr's contract. They're going to get $23 million in cap space by doing that. And the Seahawks reworked Geno Smith's contract, created just under $5 million in cap space. And there's a difference in reworking a contract versus extending somebody.
Yes.
There's a difference because what they did with Smith and Carr is going to pay him outright as a signing bonus.
Well, that's it. You convert it to a bonus as opposed to salary, and it's going to count differently. And they could do that with Dak Prescott, but his cap number is still so big. You just wonder if that's the right thing to do for the Cowboys if their plan is to keep him. If they're not going to keep him, yeah, you convert that into more of a bonus, and here we go. And he's playing on the final year of his deal, and then he's going to be a free agent for the first time in his career at the end of that because he can't get tagged, and he's got the no trade clause, which he could waive. It would be interesting, though, if the Cowboys were to do that. I would think at that point the next step isn't have him play out this year on the final year of his contract. If he doesn't get an extension, I would imagine the Cowboys would do everything they can to trade him so you get some value for him. Otherwise, you spend all that money, he becomes a free agent, he's gone, and you're starting over. And knowing that the Cowboys, at least to this point, haven't done anything to prepare for life after Dak Prescott. They got lucky with Dak Prescott when Tony Romo got hurt because they really hadn't done a lot of prep work for life after Tony Romo. But at the same time, when you look at the available quarterbacks out there who they could trade for, none of them are better than Dak Prescott. So if you were to trade Dak and then make a move to get and sign one of the free agent quarterbacks or whatever, you're still going to be taking a step backward in quarterback play, although it's not going to cost you $60 million.
It's going to be interesting to see. And I think Dak's situation is going to be known sooner rather than later because that is what they have to deal with before they can deal with anybody else. And so Dak's deal is going to get done. And I think it's going to be interesting because I don't expect him to answer it with any clarity, but that Jerry's going to be asked about that when he gets out to the combine next week. So it's going to be interesting to see what he says. Surely they're negotiating now, I would assume, and Dak's probably looked at some numbers and responded. They're going back and forth as we speak. But that deal has to get done one way or the other so the Cowboys know what they can do with everybody else.
When you think about their free agency, their draft, their offseason wish list, because whether Dak's deal gets done first or they've got a pretty good idea of where it's going to go, because that's got to be the first domino that falls, whether it actually happens first, but the parameters are going to be where the Cowboys need it to be. You guys play general manager. What is your wish list for the Dallas Cowboys? Priority list, again, through free agency, trades, draft. What positions do the Cowboys have to address from a priority standpoint? We'll dive into that and what the cap means, the new cap number means for the Cowboys as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I just want to tell you this. If you haven't been to the Golf Club of Texas lately, you haven't been to the Golf Club of Texas. The place is, wow, it's just completely different than what you might have been used to in the past. They have redone that place where it is incredible. Not a country club, but it certainly has that country club feel. It's open to the public 7 days a week. And, well, the Golf Club of Texas offers some of the best course conditions in town with the friendliest staff. It is a great place. Jason and I talked about it a few minutes ago. They're redoing the cart paths. And by redoing, they're putting new cart paths in all over the golf course. The place is open until late at night, 10 o'clock, in fact, every night. They've got a lighted driving range. You can go out there and hit balls if you want in the dark because it is lighted. And why not bring the family? Because you can have dinner before you go out and hit range balls at the Tin Cup. Even if you're not a golfer, take the family, hang out with your friends. It is the best sit-down restaurant in that part of San Antonio, and it's not going to break the bank to take your family out to eat. The Golf Club of Texas and the Tin Cup is always open to the public, and again, not a country club, but it certainly feels like a country club. They will take care of you. Head on out to the Golf Club of Texas, right there on Briggs Ranch Road, off Highway 90 for dinner at the Tin Cup, golf with your buddies, your next tournament, whatever you want to do. Go check them out. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs rodeo road trip continues. The Lakers and the Jazz are in the rearview mirror. Here come the Timberwolves on Tuesday night. We'll look at what happened and where they're going. Wemby Watch 24 continues.
Plus, it's NFL Combine Week. The Dallas Cowboys and Houston Texans each have the same goal, but potentially different paths on how they want to get there, and it all starts now. Make sure to show up bright and early. We start at 6.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details. Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open with a true Vegas feel. The Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Roo Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save.
Details on example rate at selectquote.com.
Cowboys play here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minnick. On Twitter, at Joe Reinagel210. You can tweet at me, at Jason Minnick. You can dial up, and this is a segment where we want your participation. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Hit the thumbs up button, and you can comment there as well.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of comments today. A lot of folks watching on YouTube. We appreciate you for that. Subscribe, though, and hit the thumbs up button, will you? That's important to the folks in the front office. And Jason and I, too, by the way.
Absolutely. You play general manager. You're Will McClay, you're Jerry Jones, you're Stephen Jones. You guys are sitting in the office talking about what are the priorities that we need to target this offseason, whether it be through the draft, through free agency, work some trades. In your mind, what is the most important positions, players that you need to address from a position standpoint?
Well, there's a lot of work the Cowboys have to do, I would say. But first and foremost, and I would assume Mike Zimmer feels this way too, Cowboys need some help in that linebacker core. And I think that would be, if I had one wish, I would like to see them address that somehow, some way that could help with that run defense. Hopefully Mozzie Smith plays better, but they need a good size, physical linebacker, especially if Van Der Esch doesn't come back, and it doesn't appear that he's going to.
Is that your top priority?
That would be mine, yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Because I'm on the offensive line as my number one priority. I need to find a left tackle and a center, unless I extend Tyler Biotish. And I again, Jerry and Steven and Will know what they're going to do there. I do not.
They probably will, don't you think?
I mean, I don't know. All right, so I'm going to assume right now he's a free agent. So is he coming back? Is he not? Maybe that solves that priority list. A left tackle, Tyron Smith, is apparently on record, according to Calvin Watkins at the Dallas Morning News, that he is not going to retire and he does want to come back to Dallas at the right price. Whether Tyron Smith is back or not, I need to make sure I have a solid left tackle. So to me, that's a priority, whether it's for the future or for now. I've got to get myself a new left tackle. That to me is number one priority. Then maybe center. If I don't sign Tyler Biotish, well, center becomes a priority.
Well, I've seen a couple of mock drafts that have the Cowboys going offensive line number 1, linebacker number 2, running back number 3. And I think, to me, if the Cowboys do go that way, I think that's the perfect way to go. That address 3 needs right away. Now, that's assuming, again, that these guys that you draft are going to be good and be able to contribute. But if you're going to go all in the way Jerry said they were, now, again, what Jerry means by going all in remains to be defined, because I'm not exactly sure when it's Jerry Jones. However, look, if you're going to go all in, you can't do that through the draft. You just can't. You've got to go out and get some free agents. And just like the Bucks did, just like the LA Rams did, and it paid off for them. So you have to define what Jerry means by going all in.
Well, and only Jerry really knows that. Now, when you look at Dak, obviously is the biggest financial question coming into the season.
Uh-huh.
Then you look at their long list of free agents. I mean, Tony Pollard played on the tag last year. Highly unlikely he gets a second tag. What is the second tag number for running back? I know
right around 12 million.
Well, last year it was 10 for, so running back. Well, that 11.9, isn't that on the first tag? That's not the second tag, which would be about a 20% increase, right? So that might price Tony Pollard out. And did Tony Pollard do enough last year to warrant a long contract with the Cowboys, or when you hear Saquon, or you hear Derrick Henry, or you hear Jacobs again, are the Cowboys going to spend money at the running back position, even with the increase in cap, knowing that Mike is going to get paid and that CD is likely to get paid, and you got Dak, and you got Biotis, you got other guys. I just don't see them spending money at the running back position. They're going to draft some guys or get some guys, and they're going to be fine there.
And I think that's the right way to go when it comes to running back. Look, a lot of teams have found some good luck drafting guys, and they've worked out okay. So I think the Cowboys can do that. You draft a running back and hope that he is the guy, and whether it's Rico Dowdle behind him or if you keep Tony Pollard somehow, some way. It surprised me when Emmitt Smith was on with us out on Radio Row. He was all in favor of the Cowboys keeping Tony Pollard, which really surprised me. But he said that his exact quote was, "Well, who else you going to get?" And so, yeah, I don't see them going after a Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley or anybody like back and hope you get lucky.
Now, let me ask you this. You look back on the season as a whole. Tony Pollard did not have an awful season.
No.
He didn't have the explosive plays that we were used to seeing from Tony Pollard. He was still 1,000-yard back, and you could argue whether that's still a worthy milestone or not, but in a passing league, it still is. He didn't score the touchdowns that we expected, but the Cowboys still had a pretty damn high-scoring offense. They struggled in the red zone. His blocking was a lot better than most of us thought it was going to be based on history. So if I'm Tony Pollard's agent, I can make the case that I earned a long contract with the Dallas Cowboys. I earned my right to keep that star on my helmet. But did he play well enough to earn $10, $11, $12 million a year? And the answer is no. And quite frankly, for the Cowboys, I don't think they could pay any running back that, and I don't know what the number is. Is it 6? Is it 4? Is it 7? I don't know.
I don't think they're going to pay Tony Pollard $10 to $12 million. If he'll stay for something that maybe equates to $21 million over a 3-year period, perhaps. But I think that's even a long shot. With the success that other teams have had drafting late in the draft and finding running backs there, I think the Cowboys are better off taking a shot and doing it that way and spending their money on other things, again, like offensive line and linebacker.
When I look at obviously Tyron Smith, if he comes back, I would think it would be at a reduced salary. He made 12 something last year.
Yeah.
The reports right now were around 7. All right. Gilmore told us in Las Vegas he wants to come back.
Sure.
He told everybody that he wants to come back. We know Zimmer loves him. I think he ends up coming back, but he was a $10 million guy last year. You get a healthy Diggs. You saw what you got with Bland. I don't know which one is technically the third corner, but Gilmore still played at a high level.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about, Bland had some spectacular plays, but then he kind of fell off. So I'm not sure, is he a guy that you can really count on to if you do get rid of Gilmore, to be that guy on the other side?
He made some big interceptions and took him to the house.
He did.
But kind of like Diggs, you make big plays, but in the process of doing that, sometimes you give up big plays, and that's just the nature of that position. And Deron Bland is, still on his rookie deal. So, he's there, he's good, but, you need a lot of defensive backs. And so where do you go there? Jaron Kearse, Jordan Lewis. And when you look at the tag numbers, none of those are worthy of what those tag numbers are. Dorrance Armstrong. So, they've got to take care of their own free agents, and that list is long.
It's a long list.
But when you look at a bigger linebacker, which is something that Micah Parsons told Jerry that we need. Of course, I think we all knew that. Plus, Mike Zimmer likes bigger linebackers. You got to help out that offensive line. That, to me, and get a running back. Those are the priorities. If you lose a Michael Gallup, I don't know how much that hurts you in the sense that, are you bringing back Brandon Cooks? And if you pay CeeDee Lamb, you still are waiting for Jalen Tolbert to develop into a quality NFL wide receiver. But there are lots of receivers out there, lots of receivers. So I think you have an opportunity to replace Michael Gallup with a lot cheaper of a version. What they need to find, I mean, you remember, what was that Bryant guy that they added to the team that we all forgot about?
Martavius.
Yeah. They need a tall wide receiver that can help in the red zone, or that bruising type running back that can help in the red zone, because that was one of their biggest issues last year. You look at in a 12-win season, if they were any good in the red zone, they beat the Cardinals. If they were any good in the red zone, they might have 2 more wins. Now, none of that mattered in the playoffs.
It didn't.
I got there before you did, Joe. But at the same time, where were issues last year with this team, and how are they going to fix them this offseason? Or fix them, address them, so they're not as glaring of a problem, because you realize you probably can't get all of these goals accomplished in one offseason with the salary cap situation that they're in, even with a record cap increase.
To me, the biggest problem was stopping the run. For the second year in a row, that was the biggest problem. So that's something they have to address. I think the linebacker that we've talked about will help with that. Mozzie Smith's going to get another year. Hopefully for the Cowboys, he gets a little bit better. But they've got to stop the run. I mean, teams know going into Dallas, if you've got a running game, that's what you try to do, is run the football. And if the Cowboys can somehow slow that down, obviously that helps everybody. But that's the major need on that defense that they've got to get done, is stopping the run. And again, that's why I say linebacker is my main priority, because that's my biggest issue. The Cowboys can score. They've got the offense to score. We talked about their secondary. It's adequate, but they can't stop the run, and that's got to be a priority.
And so is Hankins, trying to bring him back.
Wow. Well, he didn't do much good stopping the run.
I mean, he was one of the better of the bad. I think
that's a good way to look at it.
Well, but here's the thing. Did they not stop the run? Follow me here. Were they not a good team at defending the run because they were always rushing the passer? It feels like they were constantly on most downs in a pass rush attack defense. And when it was a run play, they were reacting to that. Whereas some of the good runs, I mean, they might not get to the quarterback as much because they're not going to let you run on them. So was it a personnel issue, or was it scheme and play calling issue, the way the Cowboys and Dan Quinn were running things last year?
Well, I think the answer will come when we see what Mike Zimmer does. What does he think it was? Was it a scheme issue, or was it a personnel issue? I think Mike Zimmer will address that.
And probably a combination of both. But when you have undersized linebackers,
big time,
and you're constantly rushing the quarterback, so you're going kind of out in, or you're blitzing, and how many games, if you go back and you think about it, were they blitzing from the left side and they ran to the right side, and there was a gaping hole there because the blitzer guy was on the other side trying to create a mismatch. And so sometimes I think it is scheme, or if you're first as you're shooting up the field and now you're trying to catch somebody from behind, they're still going to get 3, 4, 5, 6 yards.
Well, look, I think you've got to use Micah Parsons differently too. I mean, just lining him up on the end and having him rush the passer, most of the time, that's got to change, doesn't it? I mean, I get it. That's how he's making his bones as a pass rusher. But look, I think Micah Parsons is a type of athlete that you can put in different spots at different times and maybe confuse the offense a little bit. I mean, he lined up at the same spot just about every time, and you knew they were either going to double team him or the running back was going to chip him. I mean, and so there was no guessing game. Line this guy up at different places. I could see a Micah Parsons as nimble and quick as he is, not necessarily a middle linebacker, but almost like another safety at times. And
that'd be an oversized safety.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean,
but he's not going to be in coverage.
And that's not what I'm saying. But my point is, use him a little differently. I think Dan Quinn with Micah Parsons was too transparent. I mean, you knew what he was going to do. You knew where Micah was. You move him around where maybe the offense doesn't know. Well, where's Micah and what are we going to do? And I mean, I just think he's athletic enough that you can put him in different spots and be effective with him.
And maybe disguise some of those blitzes, which, Mike Zimmer is known for. And I'm with you. And then granted, football expert Micah Parsons on his podcast said that those packages were in every game.
Yeah.
They're just not called.
That's what he said.
His words, not mine.
Yeah.
And Dan Quinn did some wonderful things with the defense compared to where it was when he got to Dallas.
Sure.
And, you talk about leaving the cupboard full. He left that place a lot better than he found it. What will Mike Zimmer do with what was in place, and how much change do you see? But finding a linebacker, and we talked about it some, but losing Leighton Vander Esch was a far bigger loss than most thought.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you replace that?
That's what you've got to do, and that's the style of linebacker that you need. I think we're going to see more of a change on that defense than Mike Zimmer's letting on. I know he said we're not going to reinvent the wheel. I think Mike Zimmer and Dan Quinn are two different cats.
Oh, but they're going to change the tires and put different rims on it. I mean, it's still a wheel, but it ain't the same.
I think it's going to be a lot different than what we saw last year.
210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. When you look at the fact that the salary cap came out and it's so much bigger than what most were anticipating. I mean, record growth. The tags, though, are so expensive.
They are.
Not just with the Cowboys, but I wonder how many franchise tags actually get used this offseason across the NFL. When you're looking at $21.8 for a wide receiver, you're looking at $29.85 for an offensive lineman, a defensive tackle at $22 million.
How much for an offensive lineman, you said?
Offensive lineman, $29.85.
Wow. Really?
For the franchise tag. Running back this year is $11,951.
Wow.
So I mean, the salary cap goes up, those tag numbers went up.
Yes, they did.
Quarterback at 38.
Well, yeah. The Cowboys could only hope they could tag Dak at 38. They would love that.
They're not allowed to tag.
No, they're not. But boy, that's what Jerry's dreaming about.
I mean, think about that. You want to tag your kicker? $6 million.
Wow.
5,984. A safety's at 17. It truly does tell you.
It's unreal, yeah.
It truly, this is nuts, as I'm connecting dots here. Mamas, don't let your kids play running back. Running back is 11,951. Tight end is 12,693. Punter 5,984. Safety 17. Corner 19, linebacker 24, defensive tackle 22, defensive end 21, offensive lineman 20, wide receiver 21. I mean, if I'm a tight end, let me hit the buffet again. I'm going to be a tackle because that's $8 million more.
No kidding.
If I'm a running back, I could be a slot receiver. That's $10 million more. I mean, you think about it. Remember, like Jimmy Graham? Dude, I want to get paid like a wide receiver. Quit calling me a tight end. That's why.
That's exactly why. It's crazy. There's so many things to watch this offseason, and I can't wait. I'm really anticipating a lot of things from the NFL this offseason. But the one is, are the running backs going to be, the I don't know what good ignored group again, as they were last year? It's going to be interesting to see. And I think by the reasons we talked about, the Kansas Cities of the world that find the Pachecos that can play on those rookie deals and be successful, I think that's where teams are going to go. It's going to be a fascinating offseason. No question.
Always is.
Always is.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. If you are a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, you want to get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. You need your logo on a nice golf shirt, a fishing shirt, a dress shirt. Sam will do that for you. Half zip hoodie, jacket. Sam's got everything that you need. If you need caps done, over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, just waiting for your logo. Even has the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps. If you need t-shirts, screen printed, go see Sam. You can do t-shirts, short sleeve t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts. He'll get you taken care of. Uniforms, you need uniforms done for a league, for your work. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from all kinds of industries: medical, restaurant, construction, schools, leagues, Major League Baseball. Maybe they should have gone to Sammy, because I don't think he has those see-through pants unless he really want those. But sure, Sammy can do that for you. Put a logo in an appropriate place. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. Call 210-824-3900, or better yet, go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Spudger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery, and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Spurs lost in Sacramento last night, but now they can't fret too much. They get right back at it tonight in Los Angeles against the Lakers. LeBron James expected to play tonight against the Spurs. Tip-off there at 9:30. NFL Today announced the 2024 salary cap, $255.4 million, a $30 million increase. Should have been a football player.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. He should have been a football player.
Should have been a football player.
I'm Jason Minix. I, too, should have been a football player.
Wasn't that a Toby Keith song?
Yeah. Should have been a Cowboy.
Should have been. Did he mean Dallas?
Of course.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
He did a remix for Cowboys.
Did he?
You know, here's the thing. We were all football players. We just weren't good enough.
Exactly.
I mean, let's be honest.
Exactly.
I mean, there was a time in my life I thought I was going to play in the NFL. There was a time in my life I thought I could be the first 5'7" wide receiver in the NFL. And then I realized, yeah, it ain't going to happen. So I became a sportscaster.
Well, there you go. So those that do, those that can't, talk about it.
You know, it's, I mean, there's truth there. I mean, it's like, man, I want to be in sports. Coaches, too many hours, they don't make enough money. Then I was going to be a sports writer. And I did that for a long time, working in the newspaper. And I realized, well, actually, I realized I was told this great disc jockey back in Copper's Cove who just recently passed, a big Joe Lombardi. Remember, he was like, radio guys, we have more fun and we don't work as hard.
You certainly don't get paid much. That's for sure, especially when you're first starting out. But, you know, what's funny how you get here from different ways. When I got out of school, man, I had a great job with Motorola back in the day and selling two-way radio systems to farmers and ranchers back in South Texas. And, you know, if I had that, I'd probably be some rich billionaire living in Chicago.
You realize they stopped selling beepers a long time ago.
Well, they still sell cell phones and all of that kind of stuff. It was two-way radio systems, by the way, Minix. It was a big deal back then.
Oh, yeah, but now they don't need that.
Well, they asked me to leave after 3 years with them because I wasn't producing like they thought I should. And so that's what got me into this. So I said, you know, I like sports. I can talk about it. A lot of people didn't think so right off the bat until the fine folks in New Braunfels gave me an opportunity.
Well, it's part of it.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So you were a traveling salesman in South Texas with an expense account,
company car,
and freedom.
Yeah.
And you weren't self-disciplined enough to go sell something.
I was a knucklehead in those days, even more so than I am now. Yeah, big knucklehead back in those days.
Can you imagine? I got a corporate card and a car. All right.
And no boss looking over your shoulder. Wow. It was great for a while.
Well,
dude, I was at the pool hall at 2:00 in the afternoon and, you know, playing golf and doing all kinds of things other than selling stuff.
Were you at least taking clients to the golf course?
No.
As those farmers were working.
They're working. So, yeah, it wasn't, I needed supervision at that time. And
you still do.
I do, yes.
Out of curiosity, and I don't know this, and we're going way back in time.
Uh-huh.
But once you sold a farmer a two-way system, isn't that guy good for several years?
He is, but do you know how many farmers and ranchers there are from Corpus Christi south all the way down to the valley? I mean, that was my territory. They're everywhere.
Did you have competition?
Well, not really. I mean, there was somebody, I can't remember the other company, but Motorola was the brand, and we were expensive as hell.
Well, and so the other guy was busy and actually working, and you were at the golf course or at the bar, not working with a more expensive product.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of thinking, once you track down the guy on the tractor and sold him something, you're going to quickly run out of business. I used to have a friend when the AT&T Center first opened as the SBC Center. His job was suite sales. And as soon as they sold out of suites there with the Spurs, he got fired. There was nothing left for him to sell.
Oh, my gosh. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, dude ought to get royalties or something.
I mean, he got commissions until he no longer was an employee.
Wow. That's horrible.
Well, it's like, it's like selling radios. I mean, once you sell somebody, eventually you're going to run out of people to sell.
Dude, you'd be... At that time, I don't think farmers do that anymore. Maybe they do still use two-way radios in their tractors.
Well, they got a phone.
Well, yeah, well, exactly. So I don't know, but that was the deal. I mean, and so I'd go to like small town co-ops and feed stores, and that's how you got your leads. You make friends with those people, and they tell you who, Farmer Fred over here. He's been talking about doing something. Exactly. So that was the way it worked. So it was a cool business, and if I'd have done it right, I'd have made a lot of money. But I was a knucklehead, big time.
The problem is you meet all these people for breakfast. You have to wake up early enough to go to breakfast.
Yeah, well, true. I didn't have a problem doing that, but I was ready to get off work at noon. Lunchtime rolled around. It's like, I'm working hard.
Well, at least, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Where do you track down your leads? At the feed store? I thought you'd just have to drive the company car. What kind of car was it? Do you remember?
It was a nice car. I don't, but it was like a Ford something or other. But
like a Ford Taurus?
I didn't have to pay for it.
Or a Fairline. I could see you in your 1978 Buick Skylark driving on the ranch. You needed a big truck.
No, it was mid 80s, pal. All right.
So they gave you a 1978 Buick.
No,
that was my brother's first car. That thing was a tank.
We all had the same because there were I don't know how many of us there were at this little place in Corpus Christi.
Yeah, fleet sales, man. They're all the same.
So it was.
Everybody got a white Ford Taurus.
It was a nice. It was brand new when I got it. When
had
they gave
windows,
it to me.
You push the button.
Yeah.
Remember when we got those and I wasn't like
had a little bag phone and all of that stuff.
Well, Motorola.
I had a two-way radio in the car as well. It was great. So you'd hear people coming on the radio after they make a sale, and I just made a sale. Man, Farmer Smith over here bought 5 radios and a base station, and I just go, damn, how did they do that?
Mm-hmm.
Those were the days. Alexandra on our YouTube said, imagine that, Joe and Knuckle. It is hard to imagine, Alexandra. I know. Hard to imagine.
It's a stretch.
It is. It's a stretch. It is. So I appreciate you. I don't think that's how she meant it, but I mean, I appreciate the sentiment.
Well, I mean, you are who you are.
I am.
And I've known you a long time. And you're, about 30 years?
Yeah, I think we've known each other that
93?
long. Yeah.
Something like that. And he's basically the same guy.
A little more responsible now than I was.
Well, I don't know if you are. Your life is a little bit more responsible because you got somebody that keeps you in check.
Well, that too. Yeah, I still like to have
fun.
Others
tried, but
I like to have fun, though. I mean, Well, those others were
careful.
Yeah, well, okay.
I mean, it's just I mean, there are stories that we could tell on each other. None of us would get in trouble for them, by the way.
No,
not those kind of stories. I mean, but just dumb stuff we did having fun.
No, no question.
Yeah. I mean,
yes.
We used to play flag football every weekend, and then flag football turns into bar time, and or all the different kinds of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of history between the two of us, and you calling yourself a knucklehead, there's no argument. And you say same for me. I mean, we've seen each other do some
dumb stuff.
Yeah, I mean, not dumb, but how the hell did we survive that?
Well, dumb stuff. Yeah, that we survived.
Yeah. That one time in Phoenix.
Oh my gosh.
Spring training.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories like that.
Thank God for Marcus Floyd.
Marcus got me out of a lot of things.
Marcus is a great friend.
He really is. There's no doubt.
Marcus Floyd is a great friend.
He's one of the best. Are you kidding me? That dude is we're brothers.
So Alexandra, don't be overly surprised. New segment, Joe's Confession Friday.
I love it.
Nope.
Kind of cleanse the palate heading into the weekend.
Nope.
And then start over.
Nope.
It's a great idea.
Joe's Confessional. Nope.
Well, some good sponsor. I don't know, the Baptist church down the street.
Oh, hell no.
Is the no because you're implicated in some of these?
Nope. Nope. No. I just, nope. That's not a good radio segment. That might be a gathering at the Rue Pub amongst boys and doesn't leave this room because I mean, nope. That sounds like a good idea till it's not.
Well, see, Minix would then feel the need to confess as well, and he doesn't want to do that.
No, I don't.
See, there you go.
No, I don't.
So that's good.
No, I don't.
I agree. No confessions here.
No, that's
it's about as good as it gets.
If you were there and were a part of the story, you know the story.
If you weren't, you weren't.
There's an old Navy saying that only a sailor will believe another sailor's stories. Because there are things that happen in other parts of this world that you hear about them and you go, there's no way in hell. Unless you're a sailor and you've been to that particular port. You've been to that country. You have experienced the same or something very similar. Confessional, I mean, we've all been there, done that.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Life is great right now.
Absolutely.
That's all I have to say.
Well, it's always been great.
Well, it has.
There's some greater than others.
Well, sure. And this is, I can clearly say that right now in my life, it is outstanding.
Yep.
So I'll leave it at that.
Same. The Spurs' new downtown arena.
Yeah.
Well, it's not official yet. The ball is rolling in that direction. News broke yesterday on this show about the sale of the Institute of Texans Culture, or the opportunity to buy it. Only one entity, the city, can either buy or lease that land. What I was surprised is the amount of seeming opposition, either to the idea of the upcoming tax that's going to be there to build said new arena, or the location. What do you guys think? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. The new Wemby Center on the way. We're diving into it next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, I got to tell you about Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. My dentist, Dr. Smith. If you are needing a new dentist, if it's been a while since you've been to the dentist, go see Dr. Smith. If you have a dentist and he told you, man, I think we need to do this and we need to do that and do that, and you want a second opinion, definitely go see Dr. Smith at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. They're a general and family dental practice, cleaning and whitening, crowns, fillings, dental implants, wisdom teeth extraction. At Smile Structure, they can handle every aspect of your dentistry needs. They offer general anesthesia, sedation, cosmetic dentistry. They can do it all. Break a tooth, chip a tooth, whatever, an emergency situation, you definitely want to go see Dr. Smith, who's a great guy, former Army Ranger. They're They're veteran-owned and operated, and they do a lot of great things for veterans. They're fantastic at everything that they do over there. Mention 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Get a free exam and x-rays. Medicaid and all PPO insurance is accepted. They even offer a dental savings plan if you don't have dental insurance, and they offer discounts to uninsured veterans. 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
When liberal Alan Schoolcraft served in the Texas House in the 80s and 90s, Schoolcraft voted for every Democrat House Speaker over and over again. Liberal Schoolcraft also donated thousands to Democrat Henry Cuellar, and Liberal Schoolcraft authored legislation to double fees, but never cut taxes or protect life. In his last losing campaign in 1992, the San Antonio Express-News actually retracted their endorsement of Schoolcraft because he was caught lying about his opponents. Now, Liberal Schoolcraft is lying about conservative Jon Kimple and running with a dangerous plan that defunds Guadalupe and Gonzales County schools and hikes your taxes by $2 billion. Let liberal liar Alan Schoolcraft keep enjoying his retirement from politics. Conservative Jon Kimple is endorsed by the NRA, Texas Alliance for Life, and every police group. Kimple cut property taxes a historic $18 billion and increased border funding by 630% to shut down Biden's open border. If it's conservative, Jon Kimple gets it done.
Political ad paid for by the Jon Kimple campaign.
Ad paid for by America First Tax Group. Attention, if you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you. But you must call 800-257-0663 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call 800-257-0663. That's 800-257-0663. Again, 800-257-0663.
The Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
I love San Antonio, man. I love it.
On 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. News breaks yesterday about the likely future site of the new Spurs downtown arena. I thought most people would be excited about this. But, you know, I was wrong.
Yeah.
If you're against it, and I don't want to argue with you, but I do want to hear your point. I'm curious what objections are, what and why. The location, because I like the location. Could there be a better one? Likely, but is there a likely better location with land that's available? Because I think that factors in. And if you're just against the idea of any taxpayer funded anything, you're probably against everything. So I don't know, but I mean, and the reason I say it that way is a year ago, a lot of us were, oh man, is this the first step that they're moving to Austin when they wanted to play a couple games up there? And the idea of the Spurs leaving San Antonio, that was a big topic a year ago. if they're building a new arena here, they're not moving anytime soon. And
No.
and so I would think that most would celebrate the idea that progress is being made for the future Wemby Center.
Well, I think people would be happy about it, but look, some people, just aren't. But I think some people are okay with a new arena. Some that I've seen and heard from don't like the location for whatever reason. I love the location. I've always loved that location for an arena, a ballpark, or something downtown, and I just think it makes sense. Right there, it'd be a perfect arena. You're downtown. You can have dinner, a few drinks maybe before the game, go somewhere after the game if you want to, all of that kind of stuff. And I just think it would help the downtown area as well. Most cities, and Jason, you know this, and anybody that's been to some of these other cities, Oklahoma City, Memphis, you see these sports facilities downtown, and it's just perfect. You file out of the game, you go have a drink, let the traffic clear, and then go home or whatever you want to do. But I just think that it's a perfect location. For me, I love the idea of it. A new arena is going to be built either here in San Antonio or somewhere, and I'd rather it be built here in San Antonio. And I think that piece of land downtown is perfect.
Now, do I think the Spurs are going anywhere anytime soon? No. But if this doesn't happen, that changes the conversation.
Sure it does.
Because the Frostbank Center is almost 30 years old, and it will be about the time that this new building is built. I mean, if they're just now talking about, all right, here's the land, and we'll start talking about the sale. All right. I mean, you realize this is a years-long process. It is starting at the right time. We talked about this several months ago and we played the audio at the time, and we talked about it quite a bit. We'd have to go back, was it 4, 5, 6 months ago, give or take, when Oklahoma City and their mayor laid out the groundwork for the new arena for the Thunder and what it meant. And here's the blueprint. I mean, everything this guy said, the mayor of Oklahoma City, and the idea that Oklahoma City is steps ahead of San Antonio pissed me off, to be honest. I mean, but give them a ton of credit because forward thinking and how are we going to build this new arena around what we currently have? And they have a great plan. They've got a great blueprint. San Antonio, I said at the time, needs to follow this because the Spurs facility, the arena, is actually older than the one in Oklahoma City, and they're already in the process of getting a new one.
Yeah.
Because what we have is outdated and in a bad location. At the time, though, that's where it needed to go to keep the Spurs in San Antonio. So, but the revitalization of the East Side never happened. Even though they said that it would, a lot of us back then said, this ain't gonna, I mean, and what do? We go to the game and we leave. Go to the game and we leave.
That's it.
Go to the game and we leave. You're going to the rodeo tonight. You're going to go to the rodeo and you're going to leave.
Yeah.
Nothing to do around it. The idea of a downtown arena. I hear people, well, it needs to be on the northwest side. It needs to be on the northeast side. That's because you live over there and you want convenience.
Well, sure.
You know,
it's all about you. I mean, and I mean that for all of us.
Yeah.
It's all about us. And I'd love to see it built where the Spurs' new facility is there in La Cantera. I mean, to me, that's a perfect spot. But it's not convenient for everybody in the city. Downtown is. Maybe not convenient, but it's we all have to travel the same distance no matter where you live.
I mean, and the idea of where the Institute of Texan Culture is, across from the Alamo Dome, and just I'm just envisioning more than just Spurs games. You think about Final Fours, whether it's the men's or the women's. Downtown is so walkable. It's easy. I'm sure there's a garage somewhere that they're gonna put up, maybe 2 or 3. Otherwise, you got a lot of front yards on the other side of the highway you can park for $20. But the idea that all the negatives, and I understand the negatives. All right, anybody that goes downtown, pick any big city and go to their downtown arenas, and parking and all those are an issue. You go to Houston to a concert at the Toyota Center or a Rockets game. I go to concerts in Houston. You got to find a place to park. You do all that, but it's fine ultimately. And when you, before the event, after the event, there's things to do. You don't just get in your car and go immediately home.
You know what's interesting, and I just thought about this, and I'm going to credit Ronnie Montemayor on our YouTube channel saying, hey, if we don't have something like Texas Live, then what are we doing? And it brings up a good point, even though there's a lot of bars and restaurants downtown in San Antonio, but having a thing like that, and you know this because you go there all the time, that Texas Live is fantastic.
It is, and I would imagine, based on everything that we've heard, an entertainment district with the arena is a part of the deal. In Arlington, it's Texas Live. There is a very similar, the first one I ever went to is in Kansas City called KCP&L, Kansas City Power and Light District. And it's the same kind of setup, although different because they got this outside concert venue and all that, which is similar to Texas Live, but KCP&L very different, right across from the Sprint Center in downtown Kansas City. You know, back in 2011, 12, 13, when I was doing games for the San Antonio Talons, we'd play the Kansas City Brigade 3 times a year, and you'd go there, and it was fantastic. You know, you're staying in a hotel right now, go to KCP&L after the game. It was great. Anything that happens in Kansas City is kind of revolves around that. In Philadelphia, when we go up there for Army-Navy game,
it's great.
you got the football stadium, the arena, and the baseball stadium basically in one big-ass parking lot, and that fourth corner is, Philly's version of Texas Live. And so those entertainment-type districts are all over the place, and yes, something like that would be a part of this new downtown arena with everything that we have heard. And we've heard entertainment district attached to not only the new Spurs arena, but also the baseball stadium for the Missions. You know, any new stadium that gets built is going to be built with kind of an entertainment district a part of it.
The only question that I have with that is you're kind of landlocked. You put that arena on the Institute where it is now, where are you going to put an entertainment district? I mean, I don't know where you're going to put it. And that's the thing, because, I mean, the convention center's right behind there. You've got a Hemisphere Tower that's right there. That would be my only concern. And I'm thinking maybe if you're thinking about putting that arena there, maybe you're thinking you already have the entertainment district with the downtown stuff. I just don't know where you would put it, to be totally honest with you.
I mean, I'm not an architect, and if you are, but you think about the land that's there, what an arena would take with a little bit of parking, obviously, because the rich people don't want to walk. But I do think there's probably enough land there. And whether you stretch it out a little bit more into Hemisphere Park, sort of attach something to that part of the convention center.
You're talking
get
about
rid of Denny's and put it there.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some things you could do to make this thing work.
Well, I've got another question. We had Major League Baseball yesterday, Jeff Passan with ESPN talking about that San Antonio
texted me back.
San Antonio in the mix, right? For major. So here's a question: would you tear down the Alamo Dome to build a Major League Baseball stadium there?
Let me think on that for a second. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. We have tried playing baseball in the Alamo Dome, and it works for an exhibition. If the baseball team was here, yes, I would definitely knock down the Alamo Dome to build the baseball stadium on that property. But I would have to have for me to fully support that idea, I would have to have the baseball team already in San Antonio one way or the other. I would not. And again, the Alamo Dome makes money. Alamo Dome is such a great facility. And you look at for UTSA in their home games, and I know people want them to have a stadium on campus, but really the Alamo Dome is so perfect for what UTSA does. You look at the All-American Bowl, you look at all the concerts they have. You got the Brahmas in there now. Did I mention all the great concerts that they have and the amount of work that they have put into the Alamo Dome? Millions. They're working on it right now. I was in the Alamo Dome on Sunday for an event, and that one end zone level area over there by Lot A is all curtained off because they're adding more suites over there. So I think realistically, they have put so much into the Alamo Dome and Final Fours and everything else. I doubt it gets torn down for a baseball stadium. I really do. Even the thought of it, maybe we tear down Bill Miller's over there and build the baseball stadium over there, because the Alamo Dome is such a viable property and it does so much for the city that the only way I think you could even consider and have a conversation about that is if you knew that baseball team was already here, one way or the other, no backing out of it. We're not going to knock down the Alamo Dome, build a baseball stadium. If we build it, they will come. Because, hell, that's how we got the Alamo Dome.
Well, sure. And look, I'm with you there. I wouldn't do it. But it's an interesting thing because if you're talking about Major League Baseball wanting to come to San Antonio or Austin or wherever they want to come, I mean, you're going to have a stadium. And look, the Alamo Dome ain't it. Even if you remodeled that thing, this is a fact that when they built the Alamo Dome for just a few $1 million more, they could have made that a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
But people said no.
Yeah.
We don't want to spend the extra money to do that.
That's true.
And so it could have been that, although it would have been outdated now too. So all, rich people problems, I guess, when you're talking about stadiums. But interesting. Because if you're going to attract big league teams, you got to have big league stadiums.
Absolutely. Now on Twitter, Charlie Prozos tweets in at Joe Reinigle 210 at Jason Minix. I love going to Texas Live, but that's not a fair comparison for us. Spurs games hold a fraction of the seating at Cowboys games, but there's nothing else around besides Texas Live. Downtown SA has so many options near and in the area of the site. Charlie, you're sort of right and also extremely wrong. Yeah, if you're going to a Cowboys game, but Texas Live is attached to the baseball stadium. And that baseball stadium does about the same number of people on most days that a Spurs game would. And it's still packed in there. And if you walk down, Cowboys over to Randall Mill and you take a right and you keep walking down, there's other bars and restaurants over there. There's a Boston Pizza and there's all kinds of stuff. Get on that little trolley and you'll find all kinds of other bars in that area that aren't Texas Live. Texas Live is a great spot for tourists waiting for an Uber. But
exactly.
There are a lot of places to go eat and drink right around that stadium that aren't Texas Live. So don't say there's nothing else around there besides that.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out and what they do and once those plans are made. So, again, interesting. The Spurs are going to get a new arena. It's just a matter of where's it going to go and how's it going to get paid for. It's going to happen. I can assure you.
What is the Cowboys wish list for this offseason as they get ready to head to the combine and they're putting their shopping list together? What is their top priorities? We'll dive into that coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What are you doing tonight? Well, if you don't have any plans, I got a suggestion for you. Head on out to the Big Blind, 281 in Redland Road. They've got a new deal that they're doing on Friday and Saturday nights from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. It's called High Hands Escalator. Here's how it works. If you've got a high hand between 7 and 8 o'clock, for example, you win $200. If you're there between 11 and 12, and you've got the high hand, how about $600? It just goes up each and every hour. Payouts are every hour. There is no rollover. Man, that sounds like a lot of fun. I can't wait to get down there and take part in that. Get on down to the Big Blind. It is the best poker room in San Antonio by far. There is no comparison. This is an upscale environment. It caters to players from all abilities. They've got daily cash games, one I just told you about tonight and tomorrow night, the High Hands Escalator. Look, it's from the owners of the Root Pub and the Angry Elephant. You know it's going to be good. The food is fantastic. Beverages served directly to your table, a full bar, and there's TVs everywhere. If you haven't been to the Big Blind, why not? Get on down there, and tonight is a perfect time to do that. You might win a bunch of money. The Big Blind, 281 and Redland Road.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs rodeo road trip continues. The Lakers and the Jazz are in the rearview mirror. Here come the Timberwolves on Tuesday night. We'll look at what happened and where they're going. Wemby Watch 24 continues.
Plus, it's NFL Combine Week. The Dallas Cowboys and Houston Texans each have the same goal, but potentially different paths on how they want to get there, and it all starts now. Make sure to show up bright and early. We start at 6.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
If you're like most people, you've had your fair share of financial questions. Questions like, can I afford my son's travel hockey team? What if my daughter doesn't get that soccer scholarship? Will I be able to enjoy golf in retirement? At Empower, we know these questions can be stressful. We're here to help answer your what ifs and empower what's next. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future. Start today at empower.com. Sponsored by Empower Personal Wealth.
There's a cheap and easy way to avoid engines not firing. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Pour Stable in your gas can or directly into the tank of your car, truck, hybrid, boat, ATV, motorcycle, or lawnmower to prevent fuel-related engine problems that cost time and money. When you store, start with Stable.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-647-0499. 800-647-0499. That's 800-647-0499.
whatever, was in the Cove Terrace Shopping Center, and it was hot dogs, ice cream, and video games. Where all the kids went after a game. Absolutely.
No. Basically diversions.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Basically.
I grew up in Alice. We had the Sonic.
You didn't have a place where you can go play video games?
No.
You have an arcade?
No.
Where did all you knuckleheads hang out?
Well, Sonic. We had the bowling alley, if you wanted. There were video games in there.
Okay. Did you have like a skating rink?
No. We had a traveling one that would come by every now and then with a big tent, right? Yeah, that's what.
So a traveling skating rink?
They would come by every, I don't know, once a month or so. And yeah, it looked like a big circus tent, but it had the wood floor. And yeah, that was a big deal. That and the carnival would come to Sagewood Mall.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Alice has a mall?
Yeah.
But not an arcade?
There was no arcade that I recall. Now, maybe they put one in after I left.
Did they have arcade games when you were a kid?
Yeah, well, sure. Not necessarily when I was a kid.
All right. Well, maybe that's why. You were grown and gone before Pac-Man became a thing.
Now, when I got to Southwest Texas State.
When did all those games come out? Like Space Invaders and things like that.
What, late 70s? Early 80s?
Maybe.
Something like that.
I remember.
Well, because I know when I got to San Marcos, we used to play video like Donkey Kong and Space Invaders. And
I remember, you think about how mowing lawns, getting paid, taking a $10 bill, going to the bank, getting a roll of quarters, and then, right, you go to W.C. Frank's, or if we were at Skate World, we used to have this place also. It was called the Pink Panther, and it was a club for kids. It was like a nightclub, but for kids, teenagers.
We had a Shakey's Pizza.
Shakey's Pizza?
Yeah. It's a good place to go.
Is that like Mr. Gaddy's?
Oh, it's Shakey's. It's different. The dude dressed up in his little striped outfit with the top hat. Shakey's. It wasn't a top hat. It was a chef's hat.
Was that like a Bob's Big Boy, but for pizza?
No, it was Shakey's Pizza. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know that I've ever heard of a Shakey's Pizza.
Shakey's Pizza. It was great.
It's funny. I mean, Mr. Gaddy's. You had to go
Gaddy's.
all the way to Killeen for that.
We didn't have a Mr. Gaddy's either. We had in Alice, we'd have a Shakey's, and then it turned into a Pizza Inn.
Pizza Inn.
Pizza Inn.
Why is Alice nothing but knockoffs?
Well, and then we had a Pizza Hut also.
Oh, you had a Pizza Hut and a Pizza Inn.
And a Pizza Inn.
And you had a Dairy Burger.
Dairy Burger's awesome.
Yeah, like the
we had a Dairy Queen too.
Well, but it's like I listen to you talk about Alice, Texas, and all I can picture is the movie Coming to America.
Yeah.
You know, you had McDowell's.
Oh, we actually had a McDonald's.
Huh?
We had the real thing.
Did you have McDowell's too?
No. Not at all. But Pizza Inn was great because they had a lunch buffet. So you go there for lunch.
So does Pizza Hut.
No, they didn't.
I mean,
back then, they didn't have it at Pizza Hut. But Pizza Inn did, and it was cheap.
Dude, see, and that's
kind of like a CC's now, right? CC's Pizza.
Well, it's why do you hammer CC's Pizza?
Well, because they have a cheap buffet.
They do. I'm trying to remember the pizza place, and I don't know, but that was the cheap, like the sit down pizza place, not like the Domino's delivery, but it was we're going to Mr. Gaddy's tonight because Pizza Hut. We're going to Pizza Hut tonight because the deep dish, they'd serve it like waiters, and you get those red cups, and everybody would steal those things. Those red. Yeah,
no, I don't remember stealing anything.
Please.
In high school. I mean, come on, dude.
Dude, I mean, stealing the red cups from Mr. Gaddy's was.
You mean like the plastic cup?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
What the hell do you want that for?
Because they never broke, no matter what you did to them. And they were bigger than most. And so I mean they were there. I mean, we were stealing those as kids before we were taking the numbers from Whataburger.
Jeez, man. I never did that either. What's the matter with you?
Are you sure you lived?
Oh, that's living. Stealing numbers from Whataburger. Whoa. I never lived, I guess. Jeez.
He's got 9 of them in his car right now. Those
Whataburger numbers. Boy, that's your idea of excitement.
Oh, no.
Did you go cow tipping too?
I stole a cow one time.
Jeez, you're a thief, man.
No, it was our senior prank.
To steal a cow.
Well, it wasn't a normal cow. It was the big old plastic boarding cow that was on a trailer out in front of a
I remember
convenience
those.
store.
Isn't that the Sizzler used to have that big cow out front?
A lot of places have big cows out front, but this particular one, I think, was for a milk company. And, you know, one of the senior pranks is some friends of mine who will remain nameless, one that had a truck. I did not. And we cut the chain on that thing and we stole the cow and we parked it at the school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you had fun doing it?
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
We got in a lot of trouble.
Wow.
Because we also stole about every for sale sign that we could find, and we lined the road to the high school with all the for sale signs that we had stolen.
Boy, you were a juvenile delinquent, were you? It's a good thing you went to the Navy where they could straighten you out.
11 days after
Holy
graduation.
cow.
But I volunteered. A judge didn't tell me, what do you want to do?
Man.
Marco said he used to go to Shakey's in San Angelo.
That's what I'm saying. Marco knows where Shakey's is and what it's all about.
Is Shakey's still around?
I don't think so. I haven't seen one, or they may be. I don't know.
Is it good pizza?
Or is it? Dude, that was 100 years ago. I have no idea. I assume it was good.
I mean,
look, there's Shakey's right now.
What do you mean? We're on radio. Look, there it is. You're looking at a computer screen.
Pledge has pulled up locations for Shakey's. It looks like California is very popular with the Shakey's people.
Well, hang on. Go back up to California. Let's see. Is there anyone near Oxnard, California?
You know what's in Oxnard, though? What's that place where Karate Kid took his date? Remember that?
No.
Karate Kid took his date to, the hell was the name of that place?
Somebody will know. At Joe Reinagle 210, at Jason Minix.
It's there in Oxnard.
Really? Well,
yes.
All I know is we've got to find a new pizza place for Cowboys training camp.
I know.
RJ Ochoa and I were talking about this last night because Tim Spence has ruined at Tomper's Pizza for all of us forever. So we've got to find a new pizza place in Oxnard for Cowboys camp. For those of you that don't recall our first day traveling with Tim, there's always something, and it's generally on day one. But, I mean, we had just sat down to eat pizza, and this guy I don't even know if he had a bite, but he was just hurling up a storm.
Dude, and ran over to the...
just in the bushes over there. I don't know that we could ever go back there. There's a wonderful place, great memories. I don't think we can go back.
Of course we can go back.
I just, flashback,
I'm just not
man.
sitting in that same spot.
Well, surely
Golf and Stuff. That's the name of it, by the way.
What?
Golf and Stuff.
The Family Fun Center.
Yes, and it's still there in Oxnard.
It's in Oxnard?
It's in Oxnard.
Where in Oxnard?
Yeah, we pass it every time from when you're driving in from LA and you're going out to wherever you're going. You pass right by it.
We generally either exit on Vineyard or Oxnard Boulevard.
Oh, dude, I don't know the address. I'm just telling you.
I've never seen that thing, and we've all been out there 20 times.
You're not looking. It's there.
Well, I mean, if I saw a fun center, I think I'd say, well, let's go have fun.
It's golf and stuff.
Golf and stuff.
It's for kids.
So we can't go?
Well, we could probably go.
Is it
like a
putt-putt?
water park and a putt-putt and arcade games? Hey, if it's good enough for the Karate Kid for his date.
I mean, why didn't he take his date to the Rudder Room?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Speaking of the Cowboys, who are we going to see in training camp? New. As the Cowboys get ready to head off to the Combine, Mike McCarthy and Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator, they're not going to Indianapolis. Not an unusual move, and a lot of coaches recently have opted not to go, especially head coaches. They will participate in the player interviews over Zoom. So I don't, Mike McCarthy thinks he'll get more work done at the Star than if he's at Indianapolis. And Jerry saves on hotel costs, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't think Jerry cares about that.
He's a businessman.
Yeah.
Business expenses are business expenses. But when you
might
look
be McCarthy's dinner tab.
Wow. Wow.
I'm just saying that that's probably more than the hotel bill.
Wow. Dude's lost weight, man. He's looking
He has?
good.
I think he found it again.
Wow.
That's what? He's a big dude.
You're mean.
Why is that mean?
Dude.
McCarthy knows he's a big dude.
Yeah, well, and he eats a lot, but
Of course.
he might mix in a salad.
I doubt it.
Well, I mean, it's an extra $12. Why would you?
Well, you mix it in before your big plate.
Oh, man. Why would you get a salad? Like I was at a steakhouse the other night. Want a salad? Why would I want a salad?
I like salads.
There's steak on it the way. I want to save all the room for the good stuff.
I enjoy a good salad before a steak dinner.
Dude, I had a salad at lunch today.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Wow.
Well, it was we were at Julian's Pizzeria, and the lunch special was a slice, which their slice is like 3, and a salad. So a slice and a salad for lunch. And if they would have brought the pizza and the salad at the same time, I probably wouldn't have touched the salad. But it came first, and so I ate it.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Most of it. Well, it's a good salad. If you got a good salad, I'll eat it.
All right.
If you got a crappy salad and it looks like you were outside with a blower, I'm probably not going to eat it.
I like a good salad. And you're right, though. I mean, it depends on where you get the salad.
No, but what does this have to do with Mike McCarthy being fat? Why?
Business expenses. Jerry's more worried about the food meal than the hotel bill.
They stay at nice places.
Well, sure they do. And they have nice restaurants there, too, I'm sure.
St. Elmo's.
Yeah.
If you're the Cowboys brass and you're going to Indianapolis, you've put together your shopping list. By position, how are you prioritizing this offseason? You play general manager and tell us what you're looking for. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. What I find interesting is when we were talking about this in the office, Joe and I have different priority lists of what the Cowboys need. Now, ultimately, all the same food groups are on that plate, but how they get there in portion sizes, if you will, in the context that we're going, are different. Our top priority is different, which makes me wonder what the majority of our listeners think. You can dial up 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Tweet at Joe Reinagle 210. Tweet at me at Jason Minix. If you're watching on YouTube, you can comment there. Don't say quarterback.
Yes, you can say quarterback.
Hey, dude, you've got a quarterback, and you're going to pay that dude a gazillion dollars. He's your quarterback for this year. So you're not getting a new quarterback this year.
Right.
That might be on a futures wish list, but you're shopping this offseason. Don't be a donkey, as Ryan Eagle would say.
Yeah,
there it is.
I love it.
Don't be a donkey.
I love it. Yeah.
This offseason, you're not getting a new quarterback this offseason. You might extend one, you might not extend them, but Dak is going to be the quarterback next year.
I love you, Dak. That's a good question, though. Will there be a new quarterback backing up Dak Prescott? I wonder if Cooper Rush signed that 2-year deal, but it was really only a 1-year deal.
Yes.
I wonder.
It'd
be interesting.
What is your priority position-wise? Your calls coming up here on the Blitz. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. When you need an electrician, you know Hill Electric is available to you 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. I know I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house through the years. They do fantastic work and have for over 3 decades. The family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. And whatever your project is, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price. Never a service charge, always free estimates. So it costs you absolutely nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. Call Hill Electric, 210-404-9074. 404-9074 or hill-electric.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 and a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered only $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save.
Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
Hello, this is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our coastal waterfront grand opening on March 2nd, where you can get 2 acres with bay access for only $49.9. That's right, 2 acres bay access for only $49.9. This coastal waterfront community has over 4 miles of water frontage with access to the ICW, Gulf, Matagorda Bay, and much more. Property features paved roads, underground utilities, boat launch, pier, pool, cabana, and more. This property is shown by appointment only. Call now, 210-853-0389, 210-853-0389, 210-853-0389, 210-853-0389.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for Aggies basketball.
All the way to the basket. Lay it up and in, count it and one.
KTFM Floresville, San Antonio's Sports Center.
Big announcement for all NFL teams today. The NFL announced that the 2024 salary cap is going to be a whopping $255.4 million, a $30 million increase per team. San Antonio Spurs, well, they lost in Sacramento last night, but they got a chance to get it back tonight in Los Angeles against the Lakers. LeBron James expected to play. They'll tip at 9:30.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. An hour till the weekend.
Yeah,
some of you might have already gotten off work already. The weekend is here.
That's what I'm saying. You made it. If you're driving home or already at home or wherever you're listening, we appreciate it. But pop a cold one for us.
Get a head start.
Yeah, why not? Just pop a cold one and let it go. It's Friday night.
It's Friday. We got an hour to go. Pledge, you doing a show today? All right, Pledge has 2 hours to go. Pledge says he has 4 hours to go.
4 hours to go. Little radio marathon for Pledge tonight.
It always is. It always is. Speaking of marathons, I'm heading to Vegas this weekend. My wife is running the Las Vegas half marathon. Wish her luck.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Now, when is she actually running?
Sunday,
and it's at night, right?
It's at night. It starts it's going to be a weird Vegas trip because, we hit the ground and we're running.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know how, I mean, like Saturday, we were, according to her, at least she has got to take it easy because she's preparing for this run. So, we'll land, go check into the hotel. Then we got to go to the Resorts World to get the packet pickup and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Then we're going to go see our good friend Carrot Top.
How about that?
Wow. We're taking it easy. My biggest concern is Sunday because we'll go down to the start line and wherever that is, and they're off. And then I've got basically 3 hours.
By yourself?
Well, I mean, my kid's going to be with me and some other friends.
Yeah.
But, and I'm glad my good Navy buddy, Carlos and Lisa, Carlos and his wife, Lisa, they're going. Lisa will make sure we're supposed to be, she's going to be the responsible one.
Okay.
Because I'm worried that Carlos and I are kind of like you and me. And then Erica's going to be there. And, Erica will gamble away with somebody else's money.
Yes, she will.
Although she wins. So, I mean, but she doesn't share. I'm just worried that we'll, in killing time, we're going somewhere. And then what time do we have to be there?
Yeah, I just want to see that. If you're on a roll and it's time to go.
She'll understand.
You think so? I don't think so.
Well, we've missed. Let me rephrase that. I've missed. She's gone to many shows alone that we've had tickets for.
That's
because I'm not getting up from the table.
Story.
This is different.
It's a different story.
Yeah, I've got to be there. I've got to be good this week.
Yeah.
Which is why we're staying till Tuesday.
No, it's going to be fun. And I wish Joanna nothing but the best because that's going to be fun. If you're running a marathon, I can't imagine anything better than running in Las Vegas at night. Yeah, you're going to be able to, the lights are on and stuff. Yeah, that'll be cool. Is it along the strip or what?
Yeah. No, you finish running down the strip and, everything is lit up. They close the strip, which has to suck for everybody else.
Yeah, it's going to piss people off. Yeah.
But whatever. It's thousands and thousands of runners.
Yeah.
And my wife loves anything neon and, those light up bracelets and all that. I mean, she's like, this is like made for her. So
that's cool. I hope she does well or does well. It doesn't really matter if she does well. Just finish and have fun.
Just finish and have fun. See, now Rudolph says you're supposed to drive around to different spots and take pictures of them running and meet up at the finish line and drink a beer.
I think that's a great idea, Minix. If that's what you're supposed to do, that's what you're supposed to do.
That's not what you're supposed to do.
No, you sure?
I'm positive.
Have you read the marathon handbook?
Sure. It says just make sure you're at the finish line.
That's it, huh?
No, I mean, if it were any other city, like with like when I did the San Antonio one years ago, you see people that will get to different parts of the route because it's convenient. I have no idea what this route is, but I'm not renting a car in Las Vegas.
No, I wouldn't either.
Right?
You take an Uber. Just rent an Uber and have the Uber drive you around.
Did I tell you that the strip is closed?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm just saying.
The strip is going to be closed because people are running.
Begs the question, how come you're not running?
Why? We're not talking about me.
I'm just wondering, why are you not? That'd be a great husband-wife adventure, running down the strip in Vegas together. You got to hold hands. Why are you not running, Minix?
So how about no? Because I mean, honestly,
yeah.
Remember last year at the San Antonio Marathon, and I tore my calf.
Yeah,
it still ain't right.
Well, you can wrap it up, put some dirt on it,
dude. I can't run. I mean, because we've done tons of races, 5Ks, mainly 5Ks, 10Ks, But for this last year, I can't run.
You've never run in Vegas, though. You should. I can't believe you're not trying.
No, I can't try. I haven't been able to. I mean, my leg is still. I can walk about 2 miles and that's fine. After that, man, pain and swelling and,
Yeah, I guess Ryan's not here. I would love a poll.
Of course he would.
Put it up there. Put it up there.
I know where you can put your poll.
Why is Minix not running in the Las Vegas Marathon? Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah, it's the Las
Vegas
Marathon.
It's
the Rock and Roll Marathon that's like here, except for it's in Las Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I almost signed up just because the shirt's cool, but I have no desire to run it.
Disappointed in you.
You should be.
I am. How far is it? 5K?
13.1 miles.
Yeah, okay. I don't even think I could do the 0.1.
if and there probably is some sort of 5K. I'm not doing that either. I just, I like doing a lot of 5Ks and walking, running. That's more walking than run. It's hard to tell the difference between my run and my walk, to be honest. But my leg, foot, still jacked from a year ago.
Dude, I enjoy going to the gym, but I hate doing cardio.
Yeah?
I just don't. Yeah, I enjoy lifting the weights and doing that, but cardio? No. Running on a treadmill or an elliptical or whatever the hell. It's like, what a waste of time.
Well, I mean, it's not, but I'm curious, though, because I heard Rob Thompson this morning talking about his Peloton experience. Did you not hear this?
I did not hear that.
Glad you heard it. Is there a way? I know I'm throwing this on you last second. Is there a way for you to quickly pull the audio of Rob this morning airing his grievances of what he was dealing with? I guess he's got a trainer. It's on the screen. No, I think he's got a like he's going to. We can't get it.
No, he doesn't have a trainer.
Well, that's why I need to hear the audio so he can tell the story, because I thought there was a trainer involved. But I know he was looking at somebody today. Like he doesn't have a Peloton at the house.
Okay, so he has to go somewhere.
He goes somewhere.
Okay,
and to ride the Peloton, and it's Rob, so weird things are going to happen, right? I mean, and hearing him tell this story this morning, I was just laughing my ass off. One, because I know Rob he's been doing a lot of walking, and he's got the dogs and taking them for walks, and I guess he is taking this to another level. But he's an old college basketball player. He's got bad knees, bad legs, so Peloton is all right. Let me try this. And I've thought about Peloton. My wife is, and there's just the expense of it. And, through the years, the number of treadmills and ellipticals and the things that we do that end up holding clothes.
Right now.
That is the truest statement. Like, I wanted to get something not long ago, and Joanna was like, no. And I was like, she never tells me no.
You're not going to use it.
But that's exactly what she said.
Yes. It's kind of like building a stadium before the team gets here.
Exactly.
You build it, you buy it, and then you don't use it.
Yeah, she's like, go for a walk. Will you start walking again? Then maybe we can start doing that. And now the weather's nicer, so she's on my ass to go walking a lot more.
I just going back to Rob, I just picture him with the headband and the nylon pants or whatever you call those things.
You think he's out of the Let's Get Physical Olivia Neutron-Bomb video?
That's what I'm thinking. I can see him with the headband on and the whole get up.
Short shorts or long shorts?
Long shorts for Rob. I hope anyway, because there's other people in that class.
Are we close, Pledge? I mean, I realize you're finding a needle in a haystack. While Pledge looks for that needle in the haystack, I'll use this moment to remind you to get signed up for our golf tournament coming up March 25th out at the Golf Club of Texas. Get signed up at sasportstar.com. It's brought to you by our friends at Flight by Yingling and many other great sponsors. And you know we're going to have a great time out at the Golf Club of Texas. You know we're going to sell out. We're about a month out. We're already half sold out.
I think even more than that by now.
Get your foursome together. If you don't have friends or you're not sure, sign up as an individual. It's $120 if you're an individual. It's if you sign up as a foursome, $400, so $100 a person. Get signed up at sasportstar.com so you can get out to the golf course and make fun of Rob and his Peloton situation.
I've got bad knees and I'm trying to stay in shape, so a Peloton is something that I'm trying. The Peloton bike.
That's not a thing you try. That's a
well. I worked out on a Peloton just
okay.
to kind of exert myself.
Okay.
I went to a place I don't want to talk about because I wasn't allowed in there. Snuck in. And it wasn't a private place, but it was a private place. So I'm at and the place had 2 Pelotons. They had nothing but really cool workout stuff. So there's 2 Pelotons with the full screens. They have one of those like elliptical things, and they had a stair climber thing. And it's kind of in a building. It's a gym attached to a building. It's like a perk of the building. So It's not an official gym, but they got some mirrors, some towels, water fountain. Nobody monitoring the place. And they've got these really kind of high-end quality. And I heard about it, and I wanted to try the Peloton. I said, come over and try it. So they have it's kind of set up, and you can tell that there's nobody like organized. You could probably get in there and drag the bike wherever. You could take it over the window. You could take it wherever you want. But I got there. I'm the only one in the room. And I began to mess around. This is my first real Peloton workout. So I've got the screen on, and you can pick like light, heavy, whatever, the mode you want to guide. And I finally find this rocking bicycle dude. We're going. And my headphones aren't good, so I'm using volume. There's nobody in there. So I'm in the midst of being coached to I'm riding the mountains, man.
And the whole room that's empty can hear it.
I'm sweating. Well, there's nobody in there.
No, I know, but it's not headphones.
So it's kind of like, and this harkens back, like if you walk into a men's room and there's a series of urinals and you stop at whatever one, the next guy, and you don't stand next to the dude, the only guy. You go one over. It's just understood. You just don't, and it wouldn't matter if they did. You just don't do it. Well, yesterday I'm in the middle of my workout. I'm sweating and doing everything and high-fiving the wall and doing this guy's making me do all kinds of one-legged move over here, and we're doing all. And then another guy comes in, and directly in my sight, in front of me. Now I'm looking down, you got the iPad screen, so you're kind of following that, but directly in front of me, like me to you, RJ, he gets on his elliptical and starts working out. He has earbuds in. He can't hear me, but we're looking at each other. I mean, he literally started working out directly in front of me. Now I'm on a bike and he's standing up, so he's kind of looking over me, but we're like face to face in this little room for the next 15 minutes. And the bike guy kept wanting me to stand up on the bike, like get your butt off the seat. So I'm standing up and we're like looking at each other. I'm like, Cat, man, at the very least, I'm in my workout. I shouldn't have to stop it and move. You're just starting. And he just stepped in there and kept going and he could have been blind. I'm not sure he ever actually saw me, though he looked right through my soul as I was working out. There is that's a foxpox, right? That's a faux pas. There needs to be like how do you handle that?
Rob Thompson and his workout.
Oh my goodness. First of all, I applaud Rob for working out. Good for him.
I think he's setting up for his excuse not to go back.
But seriously, that dude was in the wrong that came in. I mean, move it where you're not eye to eye, making out.
So you go, yeah, you think about being face to face with somebody, it better be your wife.
Right. I mean, come on.
You want the dude to physically move an elliptical? Do you know how heavy those are?
Well, I don't care.
That dude shouldn't have picked that spot.
Well, there's only 2 Pelotons, according to Rob.
No, but he wasn't on a Peloton. Is the way I heard
elliptical?
That. No, he was doing something else. He's just working out. I don't know. I picture him. Rob's riding his bike, and this guy's doing like butterflies.
He was on the elliptical.
It sounds to me like he had a little crush on Rob.
Yeah, well, maybe. He's gazing through his soul, according to Rob.
Yes.
Let's look at the Cowboys priority list coming up with our good friend Jon Machota from The Athletic. He joins us next here on the Blitz. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, spring is coming, and that means spring storms. So you want to make sure that that roof is tip-top shape. And the best way to do that is to call Stevens Roofing because, look, Stevens Roofing is that one name in roofing that stands high above the rest. Is Stevens Roofing a quality roof overhead? Means comfort. It means confidence. It certainly means peace of mind, protection for all of the things that you love. Look, if you're in the market for repairs, a replacement roof, an upgrade, or if you just want your roof checked out to make sure that it is okay, call Stevens Roofing, the best in the business. Been in business in San Antonio and South Texas for a long time. They're not going anywhere. So you know that they do good work and they stand behind their work. Work with Stevens Roofing. They provide roofing in both commercial and residential, a wide variety of materials for all of South Texas. First start, call them, 210-785-0994. You can also check them out online at stevensroofing.net, but you should call them. Make sure that that roof is okay. You know those storms are coming. Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 and a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com. Over the past decade, the Roof Hub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roof Hub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roof Hub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roof.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this? It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com. No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Get to your local Twin Peaks Monday through Friday from 2 to 7 and score some sweet deals like $1 off all wine, liquor, and of course, cheap shots. Freezing cold 29-degree cold beer. Of course, we expect that. And you need more? How about a snack? Twin Peaks has select apps for $2, $4, and $6. And you can always come back for the late night specials. Why would you even leave for the reverse happy hour? No one does happy hour quite like Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and all those scenic views.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Let's talk some Cowboys with the great Jon Machota, who joined us on the Buyers Barricades guest line. John, as the Cowboys get ready to send some people, but not their head coach or defensive coordinator, to Indianapolis for the Combine, if you were to, by position, prioritize the Cowboys' wish list, how would it go for you?
It's tough because there's so many moving parts here. So as the roster sits right now, I would have offensive line. I would say that'd be the number one position on offense. Defensively, it would have to be linebacker and then defensive tackle. So if we're going exact positions, I'd probably say number one, linebacker, number two, center, 3, left tackle, 4, defensive tackle. And so they can address those before the draft with possibly bringing back Tyler Biadasz and Tyron Smith. But linebacker, that's the one where I feel like they could draft a linebacker, but I think they're going to address that before the draft even happens, just because of the fact that I think they need a veteran type player there to fill in that spot. But they're going to do the same plan that they have in previous years, where they're going to try and fill as many gaps as possible in free agency, so that they're not forced to draft any position. But you look at this draft class, it's not really that deep at linebacker. Running back could be another need. That's not really a deep position. The deep spot is really offensive line, particularly offensive tackle. And I still think, even though offensive tackle might not be your number one need, if that's the best player available at 24, I think that's what they'll end up picking.
It's interesting, John, because you hit the nail on the head. The Cowboys have a lot of areas that they need to fill, and Jerry says they want to go all in. I know that Jerry likes to go through the draft and try to build a team that way. Do you think the Cowboys will be active in the free agent market this year?
I honestly don't think they will unless that Dak Prescott extension gets done. Where his contract's at right now, I don't see a way. I mean, I guess they could get CeeDee Lamb's contract done. That would help. But just because we haven't seen the Cowboys be that major player, Jerry can say all in all he wants, but until they actually show it, it's hard to believe that it'll happen, because it would be such a change from how they've been building over the last 10, 15 years. And so I think he says all in because that's a great thing to say that fans want to hear this time of year. The problem is that saying all in only lasts for 4 weeks, a month, because we're going to know whether or not they're all in March in free agency. Because if they're all in, they'll make some moves that you'll be like, wow, Cowboys usually don't make moves like that. Man, that's interesting. Okay, here we go. But I think them doing anything like that all starts with us finding out that Dak Prescott gets a new deal. And so will that happen? Maybe. It's going to be, I don't think it's going to be an easy contract extension, just because it wasn't the last time that they got it done. But I don't see them moving in another direction without Dak Prescott. So I think that's where it all starts with. But if you're asking me, do I think that they will be really active in free agency? I would probably lean towards no, just because I haven't seen them do it.
Jon Machota from The Athletic joining us here on the Blitz. And I know a lot of people seem to like, well, get the Dak deal done and then you could start. They're going to have an idea of what those parameters are. So if Dak isn't first, that, in my mind, isn't a signal that they're struggling or they're not getting close to a deal. It just might not get done. But they know the framework and the neighborhood that Dak's going to be in. And I think the numbers there, it's how it's structured, where there could be a bit of a hang up. So saying that, I mean, I expect Dak to get his deal and you go from there. But as we're talking about so many different positions, and you go offensive line, left tackle, and center, I guess unless they extend Tyler Biadasz, how much do you think that they're willing to pay Tyler Biadasz, or will it be Tyler on a bit of a discounted deal if he's going to stay here? I mean, he's one guy that we don't seem to talk a lot about, so I'm not sure how the Cowboys really feel about him when it comes to giving him a big deal.
Yeah, I get the sense that it would have to be, it's kind of like the Tyron Smith thing. Like, Tyron Smith, it sounds like he wants to continue playing. Sounds like the Cowboys want him back. We've seen that Tyron Smith is willing to take a little bit less to remain with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think Tyron Smith will keep playing unless it's with the Dallas Cowboys. So there you kind of see, I could see him doing like a 1-year deal that's somewhat team friendly. With Biadasz, where he's at in his career, I don't see him doing that. I think he'll go to the highest bidder. And if there's a team out there that views him as a really good starting center, I don't think the Cowboys will get in a bidding war to keep Tyler Biadasz. And so then if that's the case, then yeah, you probably have to draft somebody there, because they got some guys that could possibly fit in that spot. but nobody that you'd feel comfortable being your starter and for an entire season. And so that's an issue. That's a big weakness that you could have, and a very important offensive line spot for Dak Prescott going into this huge year for everybody involved. So it's the Biadasz thing is a big question mark, because I don't get the sense that they're going to just pay whatever it takes to keep him on the roster. And so if there's another team out there that thinks very highly of him, it could be one of those situations where, like we saw with like Connor Williams, and that ends up being a guy that gets away from you because he's a good player, but he's not a great player.
John, Cowboy fans always want to be optimistic. We do. But when I look at this team, and you can tell me if I'm being ridiculous, but I look at this team and I saw a window that was wide open last year. But when I look at who they have to pay with the Dak Prescott deal, with CeeDee Lamb, possibly Micah Parsons, and all the free agents they have, I just don't have a lot of hope for this football team heading into the season as it stands right now. What do you think?
Oh, you have every right to feel that way. There's a very good possibility that their roster isn't more talented next season than it was this season. That's why that loss to the Packers it's beyond just another playoff loss. It's so significant because of how everything was set up for them. They're relatively healthy. How deep the roster was. You still have guys like Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb on rookie contracts. You got to play at home, and now you go into free agency and you got to pay a lot of these guys. And so the fact is that you might not have a roster that's as good as that one was last year. So that doesn't mean that you can't have more success in January. You just have to be playing better in January. But yeah, no, it's completely possible that this roster isn't any better than it was last year, and it's very possible that it's worse than it was last year.
So you don't think they were doing backflips when they got the new salary cap numbers today?
I mean, I'm sure they were pleased with it, but I mean, it's like the players know what those salary cap numbers are too. So, I mean, Dax and CD, they're all going to be asking for more because all those positions, the price of what their value is going up as well. And so it might help in the time being, but in the long haul, I don't know that they would probably be doing backflips.
John, it's interesting you say that because I saw somebody tweet out, and I don't know how accurate this is, but for our discussion, it makes sense that Dak could actually, with the new salary cap numbers, command $62 million a year.
Yeah, he could. And I feel very confident there's a team out there that would pay him that, and it very well could be the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sure they're hoping he takes a little bit less than that to maybe help in some other areas.
John, I want to interrupt you, man. Are you getting attacked by geese as we speak? What is going on?
No, I'm at my apartment, and there's a dog park across the street. So I'm out of my balcony, and they don't care about my sports talk radio segments.
All right, well, they didn't sound like dogs. I thought maybe you were walking around a pond or something, and there's geese coming at you, man. Like, be safe. Don't get attacked by some bird.
No. It's some dogs barking at each other. Sorry about that.
That's all right. It's Friday. Let them bark. All right. Yeah, people are going to continue to bark at Dak making $60 million, and it's the going rate. It is what it is, right?
It is, and it's also the fact of you would love to have Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, how well he plays, and he's going to be he's one of the highest paid players in the league, but there's just not many Patrick Mahomes, and there's a lot of guys that are somewhere between that and, let's say, the 10th best quarterback, and Dak's somewhere in that place. And so if you're in that place and you're up for a new contract, then that's what's going to happen. You're going to get paid accordingly. And like I said, if the Cowboys don't do it, somebody else will. So I know there's a lot of fans that are torn on that because, hey, he hasn't had that success in the playoffs, and that's ultimately the one thing that's missing for him. But I just find it hard to believe that you finished second for MVP, and then all of a sudden you want $60 million, and your team's not going to give it to you, and that nobody else is. There's just not enough good quarterbacks out there to get money from somebody.
Well, John, what about I saw where Geno Smith and Derek Carr had, I guess, the restructured contracts. Is that a possibility for Dak, or is that really not helping the situation?
Well, just because he only has the year left, I mean, they could technically do that, but I mean, I don't think that helps them enough for everything that they want to do. And so that's why I don't think that something like that happens. I think it's more along the lines of like the last deal. It'd be some 4-year deal that gets done, and they can push a lot of the money into the future. and open up cap space for this immediate year. I think that's the most likely scenario. That's what I would think that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and Todd France are going to probably try and work on if they meet at the combine. Most of the owners meet with most of the agents in Indianapolis, and I wouldn't see why those two sides wouldn't want to meet and discuss where things are at while we're in Indianapolis. So maybe that's where the ball gets rolling a little bit. But yeah, I would imagine it's probably a 4-year deal extension.
That's what Dak seems to always want. Jerry would like it longer. Dak says no. And speaking of Indianapolis, I know you're heading out there. Seems like everybody's going, but Mike McCarthy and Mike Zimmer. And I know some coaches, especially head coaches, have opted to not go and do things on Zoom like what McCarthy and Zimmer are going to do. From your experiences out there, is that a smart move, smart decision by McCarthy?
It's tough because the way that they've changed the schedule, where they've made it like for a TV event by having all the workouts at night and stuff, there's just like a lot of time there that he probably can get more done at the Star. And so the only part, I don't think it's that big of a deal. The only issue is that you're not actually in the room with the players that you're interviewing, and he'll be on the calls with them and he'll be talking with the players virtually. But that's the one thing that he might be missing a little bit out on, but I don't think it's nearly as big of a deal as maybe some make it out. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it. I think Sean McVay is as good as there is in the NFL, and he hasn't gone in the last few years, and he seems to be doing just fine. So, I don't think it's a huge deal, and I don't think it's one of those. I've seen some people on Twitter talk about like, oh, he's a lame duck coach, so that's why he's not going. I mean, he was only out there for a few hours last year, and it was really just to do media stuff. And so, I don't think that's it. I just think with the new defensive coordinator, I think that he can get more done during the day while he's at the Star right now than he would get done there. And let's be honest, one of the biggest things that Mike McCarthy does is he's kind of like Will McClay in this sense, where he allows you to do your job. He trusts his scouts. He's not one of these coaches that comes in there and goes, no, let me see the players. I'll tell you who we're going to draft. He's not like that. He knows the scouts are working this all year round. He wants them to do their job. And the players that rise to the top, he'll get a chance to talk to those guys. He'll go to some pro days. He'll obviously have their 30 visits out at the Star and things like that. But he does have a lot of trust in Will McClay and their scouting staff.
John, I just want to know what kind of answer you think you're going to get from Jerry Jones when you ask about Dak Prescott.
It's funny because I've been thinking about that one and getting more info on the whole all-in thing. But when it comes to Dak, I just think it'll be the same thing that he has said about Dak, about how that he loves Dak and he can't see going forward without Dak, and it'll be all very positive. But ultimately, that doesn't mean that, hey, we leave the bus and Jerry said all this contract is on the cusp. I mean, I wouldn't say that. It doesn't mean anything like what he says, like right there. It's actually when you get in the room and you actually, hammer this thing out. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes because, Dak has all the leverage in this thing, but he also knows that he has to have good pieces around him as well. So I'm interested to see, does it take a long time to get it done, or is it one of those things where maybe, Dak meets with them and is like, hey, let's just get this thing done. I'll take a little bit less. I don't care. Let's just get this finalized and let's get going. I'm trying to win a Super Bowl, put some pieces around. Let's do this. It might, I don't know. It's tough to say, but whatever Jerry says, I don't think that it necessarily would mean that it's about to get done or not.
So next Friday when we talk, you'll be live in Indianapolis.
Yes, sir. I will be there. I'm looking forward to it. Looks like there's going to be some decent weather. I always like going to Indy. I hope the combine stays there forever. I've heard these rumblings year after year of it potentially moving to LA. No, keep that thing in Indy. That's a good spot for it.
There you go.
Awesome.
Says Jon Machota from The Athletic. Make sure you subscribe to The Athletic and follow Jon on Twitter at Jon Machota for all the great Cowboys coverage. Jon, always appreciate it, man. Have a great week next week in Indy.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it. The great Jon Machota on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. Coming up, Spurs Lakers tonight. We'll get you ready with Game Night San Antonio. It's a 9:30 start. LeBron probable. He's likely to play. All the Spurs look like they're going to be able to go tonight, including Wemby on the second night of a back-to-back. You want to make that game more exciting tonight? Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players from at least 2 different teams to build your Pick'em entry. All you have to do that, Select whether you think they're going to be higher or lower on predicted stats. And if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It's a lot of fun to play. It's fantasy. The cash is real, and it is legal in Texas. Sign up, use my promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, you will get a mystery special pick to use in your first pick-em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to the website UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs rodeo road trip continues. The Lakers and the Jazz are in the rearview mirror. Here come the Timberwolves on Tuesday night. We'll look at what happened and where they're going. Wemby Watch 24 continues.
Plus, it's NFL Combine Week. The Dallas Cowboys and Houston Texans each have the same goal, but potentially different paths on how they want to get there, and it all starts now. Make sure to show up bright and early. We start at 6.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. On September 6th, the government announced it will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000, with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver, or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may qualify for compensation and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement, with your VA benefits fully protected. You may be entitled to a significant financial award for your Camp Lejeune claim, but you must act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune. Call now or you may forever lose your right to be awarded a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-270-3388. That's 800-270-3388. 800-270-3388.
This year, Dell do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, there's something that binds us all. The collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the Ping G430 Max 10K driver. Straighter flies farther with Ping's most forgiving driver ever made. The Max 10K. Come in today and test drive Ping's newest driver at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Visit us at your local Edwin Watts Golf Shops or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at SanAntonioLASIK.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
This is the AA Best Bail Bonds Game Night San Antonio on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Every game night, the Blitz with Jason and Joe get you inside and ready for tonight's game. Players, coaches, insiders. This is the AA Best Bail Bonds Game Night San Antonio.
Wemby for three, and Wembanyama put him in the friend zone.
The pregame show starts now.
Spurs, Lakers tonight, 9:30 start time. It is Game Night San Antonio. Here on the Blitz, he is Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Second night of a back-to-back as the Spurs continue the rodeo road trip, but last night a near win.
Moral victories, that's what we're looking for.
They nearly won that thing.
Moral victories we are looking.
You know, I mean, yeah, last night was a moral victory, Joe.
I suppose. Yeah, they only lost by 7.
Yeah, they had a chance to win that game.
Or was it 5? What was it? 126? What? 5 points?
Yeah, math
Sorry,
is hard.
I don't mean to shortchange the Spurs.
I mean, 127-122, the final score. At one point, they were up like what, 121 to 119.
So they're winners.
No, the clock kept going and they lost.
Oh man, if only they could have stopped the clock.
I mean, look, as much as we, as frustrated as I am, even though they lost that game last night, that was a good basketball game for the Spurs. The Spurs played well last night. Devin Vassell played well last night.
He did.
Devin Vassell, he ended up with 7 assists. He was the leading scorer with 32 points. But a lot of things that we've been saying we need to see from this team, we saw last night, even though they didn't get a win against a very good Sacramento team. There was a play last night, Joe, late in the game, last couple minutes. Devin Vassell had an open shot, but made a great pass to Vic. And Sean Elliott said on the broadcast, that's not a play we would have seen a couple of months ago.
Well, let me play devil's advocate.
All right.
As well as Devin Vassell was playing, maybe he should have taken that shot. It's hard to argue that, isn't it? I mean, see, so he's got to learn that when he's hot, he needs to take the shot. If not, I mean, I know we've been caught, and I've been right there with you on it.
To a degree, but he went from good to great. He went from good to great on that shot. His shot would have been good. He put up Vic for a great shot,
and Victor missed it.
It was the right basketball on that one. I think he actually made it and got the end one. There was plenty others that Vic missed yesterday, and again, Vic took 21 shots. That led the team. He only made 8 of them. Finished with 19 points. So I don't mind that Vassell was the leading scorer. He was hot. He was 13 of 18. But what I say about a week ago, Vic should have more shots than everybody on this team. Last night he did. And a lot of those shots are shots that you expect ultimately Victor to make. His line could have been, probably should have been, 13, 14 of the 21. They just weren't going in. I wish he wouldn't take as many threes at 7-4, 5, 8. Stay under the basket and make the easy bunnies.
Now we can criticize, right?
Well,
now that he's getting the shot. But hey, 3-point buckets. I'm with you. Work the ball around, get it inside to Wembanyama, and he's going to score more often than not. It's those jump shots, and I know that that's the NBA these days. The big fellas want to come out and pull everybody away from the basket, and it works for some, and some it doesn't. I think it will work for Victor Wembanyama, obviously, because the guy's as talented as there is. Last night it didn't. But again, you see those things, and I wonder, defense down the stretch was not good. They couldn't make shots when they needed to make shots. That was an issue down the stretch. I'm happy for Devin Vassell, and I hope that we see more of what we saw last night. I don't think he's going to shoot as well. I mean, you can't expect that 13 of 18 every night, but I'm glad he played well last night, and I'm glad he dished the basketball. All of those things are positive.
It's interesting because they lose the game, but they outscore Sacramento 35-34 in that fourth quarter. And Sacramento had, I think it was a 7-0 run late, and that was ultimately the difference in the game. And even then you score 122 points, and Pop afterwards is still talking about the lack of shooters on this team.
It's a very unselfish group. We always have a lot of assists. We just don't consistently shoot very well, and it makes it tough when you're in defensive transition all the time. That's just a matter of forming your team as the years go by and working at it. But in this league, you got to have shooters all the way around.
You do, and I'm hoping that means Pop's going to be looking for them in the offseason, right? I mean, you're looking for shooters. You're looking for veteran shooters, because that's what I want the Spurs to do. And again, you watch the season, you want to see Wemby improve. Devin Vassell, I'm glad he had a great game last night. Keldon Johnson, Sohan, because quite frankly, those four, I don't see much of anything else. Maybe Trey Jones, that's possible. But it's hard to invest in this team for me, because I think it is going to look considerably different next year.
Before the game yesterday, Pop was talking about Wemby, and he was asked about Wemby, and last night's game kind of felt like what Pop was describing pregame, that we're all getting so used to Wemby already as a rookie that you just look up and go, oh yeah, that's what he did tonight.
It's kind of like the David Robinson thing. We'd finish a game and you start taking David for granted so much. You'd say, damn, David, did he rebound tonight? Or what did he score tonight? I'm thinking he got 12, 15 points, and you look at the stats and 24 points and 11 rebounds and 3 blocks, and you didn't realize it while the game was going on because you expect it from him. So it's kind of like that with Victor.
It is. And I think as he moves on, you're going to expect that all the time. I said it the other day when he had 10 blocks. Unless the NBA adjusts to him, which I figure there will be some of that, 10 blocks on a night could be commonplace for Wembanyama.
It's funny because he averages about 3 right now, and he's leading the league. He had 5 last night, had 19 points, 13 rebounds, had 5 steals. More importantly, only 1 turnover. But I don't know. It didn't feel like one of those 19, 13, 5 and 5 kind of games. I mean, because he was just struggling with this shot so much, but he was taking them. And so while I was hoping they would go in, I liked what I saw out of that basketball team. I think about that goals list that was floated around the internet that was taken at the Spurs practice the other day. It was like everything that they had talked about, we had talked about, like, hey, Devin, this is what we need. But as a team, they played well. They lost the game. We're not into moral victories, although Pop certainly sounded like after the game, boy, we're going to take everybody to ice cream after this one.
Yeah, I couldn't be more proud of them. We made mistakes. They made mistakes. But, they're an experienced team now. The young kids have grown up. Sabonis and Fox are all-star caliber players. They added some free agents. They're a good basketball team now and can play anybody. And for us to do what we did, I couldn't be more proud of them.
Couldn't be more proud. Well, that's nice. That's nice, isn't it?
I knew your head would explode. I'm just saying. We got 10 minutes to go in the show. Let's make Ryan Eagle's head explode and talk moral victories.
I'm proud of them. That's great. Well, look, maybe they'll only lose by 4 tonight, and we can celebrate that.
Well, they're 10 points.
That's not who we are.
And then they'll go to Salt Lake City. Maybe they'll only lose by 3 there, and we'll see that improvement as we go.
All right, but let me ask you this, though. In all honesty, do you really want them to win at this point? And I say that they're trying. I mean, at this point, the best thing they can do for this organization is finish in the bottom 3.
I don't hear any talk And I'll be honest with you, I haven't paid a lot of attention to the college stars. That will happen as we go forward. But who's there? Is there somebody like Wemby out there?
Well, no. Wemby's a freak. But there's always great players coming out. And apparently there's another guy in France that's supposed to be really good.
Apparently
he'll be a top 3 pick. We're playing in Paris next year. So maybe we get another Frenchie. I don't know. But last year I embraced the tank. This year it pisses me off. But at this point of the season, not that I want to tank, but at this point, you've sucked bad enough. You might as well get rewarded for it and have the most number of lottery balls available to you.
That's great. I
know
so.
It's great. Then
you got to worry about, well, is this guy going to be any good or is he not? I mean, it's a crapshoot.
I mean,
ask the Houston Rockets.
I'd rather pick 2 or 3 than 12.
Why?
Well, because
I mean, sometimes it works out better that way. Kawhi Leonard.
It was
number
15.
2 was 15.
Yeah.
I mean, Tony Parker was 29.
Absolutely.
So,
Manu was a second rounder. We can go through history. We all know it, but your chances of getting somebody good in the top 3 or 5 is probably a lot better than 12 to 15.
Where are you going? Vegas? Roll the dice. You don't know, and that's the thing. Look.
Do you hit on 16?
If they get the number 1 pick, I'd trade it somewhere for some veterans.
Well, see, maybe that's it.
That would be awesome.
That lottery pick could be such commodity, right? And at this point of the year, why would you try to win games?
So you think Pop's going to tank?
Oh, I mean,
tank the rest of the way?
I mean, look, we've seen this basketball team well enough now.
They're good at tanking.
Last year they were trying to lose games, and they did.
Pop had
this
to
year
pull
they're
them back.
trying to win games, and they're not. Like last night, they were trying to win that game. You could tell by the lineup in the fourth quarter, right? What I'm saying, I'm not talking about tanking, but I am realistic in the sense that right now wins actually hurt this team. It's stupid, right?
Jason, that's horrible.
It's stupid.
That's a very negative attitude.
Well,
very negative.
Is it not real, though?
It's a very negative attitude.
It's realistic.
So Jeff McClanahan on our YouTube says, just cover the spread. Jeff, I want to know something. Are you actually betting on the Spurs tonight? I really want to know that. Now, the Spurs, LeBron's going to play, but it doesn't look like Anthony Davis is going to play.
Cover the spread.
They're 10-point dog.
10 to the Lakers.
10-point dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't even that big of a dog last night to Sacramento.
Well, second night of a back-to-back. These young kids are going to be tired.
Well, the Lakers, didn't they play last night too?
Yeah.
Second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah.
LeBron didn't play last night.
No. And they took it easy last night.
Yeah, well, they've been taking it easy a lot.
So what are you saying?
I'm just saying.
What are you saying?
I mean, I admire if they're going to lay some money down on the Spurs. I admire you, and I get it. It's your hometown team. You want to root for them. You don't want to root against them. But to have the stones to put some real hard cash on them is another thing altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Buy into us.
Wembanyama. Wembanyama.
Not one in the same.
No, not at all. I can't even pretend.
Let me hear Kevin again.
Wembanyama.
Let me hear Joe again.
Did you
Victor Wembanyama?
Extra innings with Pledge coming up next here on the Blitz. You want a place to go watch Spurs, Lakers, anything going on this weekend, make sure you get into the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around.